Ba-boom. Let's check and see if we got all the audio right. Scarlet, boom. Camera, ba-boom. Let's get the comments rolling in here. Let's get it blinging, bling, bling, bling. Blah, bling, 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 bling. Do. I'm already live, baby. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. Hit it hard for me, dog. Wow. Can't believe you guys just heard all that. Oh, what is going on up in here? And Tino, Andrew, let's go. Call the banners, baby. Let's get people up in here ready to go. The hotline is blinging. Man, I might be doing something like this from a Star Wars podcast because it's a lot of fun. Just having people call in and say, boom, hey. I'm going to have to work on it. I'm going to have to work on how I get the I don't know what it is. The call situation, the whole, tone, whatever's going on. All right, let's see what's on Twitter. I love this one, by the way. This is unraveling the pattern, Wheel of Time guy, how it should have ended, right? So you got Hallbrand there and then just transition over. Oh my gosh. Lane's getting all fired up, guys. He's getting fired up. Let's get out. This was pretty cool. That was a good shot there of Galadriel and Hallbrand just about to getting it on. Yeah. Yeah. Careful with Twitter. No kidding. I was scrolling. Remember last time I was scrolling and it was just some girl cosplaying and I don't know what was going on there. I didn't stick around long enough to find out. That's for sure. All right, just getting caught up on your Lane's doing something real quick. We're just kind of chilling, waiting, getting it rolling. Looking around here on the interwebs. See what we got. Who's that? I got a phone going. It's going crazy. Okay. Let's check a couple things. Don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need that. Okay. How you guys doing tonight? What's going on? Thoughts, a couple of just initial things. How you guys feeling? Monday night football. I gotta check my fantasy team real quick and see if I'm getting my butt kicked. I think I am. I just started, didn't it? So coming there. I know, Andrew. Dark times. These are dark times. All right, let's see. Who we got tonight? Okay. Dang. Watching two players tonight in the Monday Night Football game. Hoping my team can pull this out of my fantasy league. We shall see. Okay, all right, back to Twitter. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Bow, ticka, wow. Yeah. Red Wings are playing though, so let's go. Okay, nice. I need to watch more hockey. Honestly, need to get into it just a bit more. Okay, people liking the video. We're doing our thing. All right, let's go. Here we go. Rings of Power. Who knows? Sometimes I forget this screen is like being broadcast, and I'm just like, be careful now what we come across. So sick. Okay. Eye of Sauron. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Pretty daggone cool. Yes, it's amazing. The eyes. Ooh. Gosh, look at his eyes too. Dang. Entire season. Yep. Isildur and Sauron at crossroads in Mordor. Ah. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's see. New York Rangers. The New York Rangers. Wow. Broncos, too bad they suck. Yeah. Cockeyed, though. That was true. Yeah, it was. What's going on in here tonight? How's everybody doing? Thoughts? Let's go ahead and rate. While we're waiting on Lane here, let's go ahead and rate this bad boy out of 10. What would you rate the finale? And then we'll do the season. As a whole. What would you rate the finale episode? Be a little question mark there. But boom. All right. We got a 10 out of 10, and we got a 1 out of 10. You know, I think you're gonna see, that very thing go down tonight. Ez will be about right here, and I think Lane will be about right there. We'll see. Oh my. Let's see. Hello and welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. Go ahead, please.
Hello, this is Peter Dixon. I'm calling in from New Zealand. It's about 4:48 tomorrow right now, and I just want to say that I haven't really taken too kindly to. And now I'm Australian. Actually, I just took a flight over.
Right.
And I'm now in Sydney. But anyway, I don't take too kindly to one of your co-hosts, is it?
Yeah.
Who's the gangly critter who likes to malign my name? What's his name? Name him.
I don't know his name. Nobody's sorry, PJ. Nobody's maligning your name.
Something like that. No, I'm British. I don't know, mate.
Oh, PJ, are you okay? Like what?
Sorry, man.
Wow.
Hey, I just had to take the phone from. No, it was actually Winnie. She's been practicing voices.
Oh, well, that's really good.
I jumped in there, and then Ruth was at the end. So sorry, I had to. Wrangle them. They're wild right now, but sorry about that. Sorry about the yelling. That's all right.
That's what happens here on the Hobbit Hotline. Okay.
Hey, welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. Who have I got here? Is this Ez?
Yeah, it's me, yo, Sticklebat. You little buddy, you little thing.
Now,
What?
Welcome to the show. I gotta ask you. Some people have been calling you a shill for Gandalf. Now.
Yeah.
Now, if you check out the most recent reviews, it is mine. On iTunes.
Oh,
these guys are a couple shills. They never say nothing negative about the show.
Okay? What? Who? How dare they say that?
I know. I think it was Peter Jackson. But anyway, do you have any comments for that kind of negativity? And also, only the pause, man. So go ahead. I'll let you respond. Then I'll hop off.
Yeah. So
did I do that right? Yeah.
Yeah. You did a great job in posing the question that nobody's posed to us. But I love it. I'm actually pulling up.
Did you get paid?
I'm actually pulling up. Not enough. What would you do?
Sure.
Hey, what would you do if all of a sudden you looked at our PayPal and there it just says Amazon Studios and it said specifically to Ez, and it's
6 figures. I'd say, man, I should have lied. I should have pulled a Judas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you should have.
I should have been untrue to myself, but then I would have said,
yeah,
more money, more problems. That's what I think Gollum said that, didn't he?
He probably did, dude.
One of his albums.
He probably did because that's the truth. That is the daggone truth. I'm looking up that review right now because I want to see if that's true because I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I couldn't believe it. Hey, how long you been live, man? Hey, I gotta give a shout out to everyone who's been in the chat.
Yeah,
I think I texted you last week. I didn't realize it didn't occur to me until I had some time off last week, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can go back and watch our old Hobbit Hotlines, and I thought the only comments that were coming in were what you were reading.
Oh no.
And so I went back and I'm like, holy crap, there's like 10 people in these chats every week.
Yeah.
Just lighting it up.
And Anthony Crumb was in there.
Yeah, he was. I got a kick out of going back through and just not hearing, but reading people's comments, man. It is, if you guys haven't done that yet, it's worth a view. I mean, this stuff is incredible.
It really is. Actually, it's a lot of fun. We've already got like 8-9 people in here right now, hanging out, just giving thoughts on the show and stuff. But dude, it is it's wild. We've actually had a few people write us emails and say that they were going to call in too. So that's kind of been fun. I'm hoping some of them
Higgins is going to hit us up at 11. Remember, Brian was the one who flew our flags
yeah, absolutely.
a Warthog overseas pilot, Air Force pilot. So he said he puts the kids to bed around 11. So our time.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll be able to hop in at the end. But I know we've gotten a lot of Matt. You got to get Matthew Johnson, and you have to hear this is Andrew. I mean, we got a lot to get to.
Oh, we got a lot to get to, and so we're gonna have folks calling in here just in a little bit. But I want to say this, Upshaw said Ez protects Lane from all the crap we talk about him. Oh my god, the
secrets are revealed now, Mike. And I thought Mike liked me. I mean,
right.
Shoot.
Hey, we're starting off early tonight, though. We've already got our first caller here. Let's pop this on here real quick.
We got Matthew Johnson. So we're gonna have folks.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I pressed 1. I accepted, and not last nor least, we've got Matthew Johnson in here. Matthew, how are you, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good. I got a question. Okay, so I know last time we didn't get to you, but you had sent us a private message, and you mentioned 6 or 7 glasses of wine to get through episode 7. Did you need any alcohol for episode 8? Or were you able to enjoy it sober, my friend? Sober October, so...
Yeah, I'm not following that. You guys are going to enjoy this story. So
okay,
it's Friday night.
Okay.
My neighborhood buddies, we get together and sit by the fire. The wives are staying with the kids, just drinking some whiskey, hanging out by the fire.
All right.
Yeah.
The one guy's got to call it early, about 10:30. So me and my other buddy go to his house, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna drink another beer and make some quesadillas." So I was like, "I'm in."
Down.
We barge into his house. It's like dark. His wife and kids are asleep. We're making quesadillas. We start talking Rings of Power. I hadn't seen it yet. We had like 15 minutes left. So we fired up from the start because I was like, "Dude, I can't. I'm not watching the end. I got to watch from the start."
Yeah.
And like halfway through, he falls asleep. I almost fall asleep in someone else's house on the couch, just like nodding off. The episode ends. It's like midnight. I shake my buddy. He's still asleep. And so then I just kind of like turn off the TV and leave his house and walk down the block to my place.
Wow.
This is kind of like how I imagine like a spinoff like a collab of Hangover Part 4 and Rings of Power to sort of like launch to the beginning. It's exactly how it starts.
It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper show, guys. That's what it is. That's what I'm hearing.
So Ez he caught me a few times. I didn't even know he was looking half the time, Matthew, but he said he would look back and he would see a lot of head shaking. When we watched it all together, there was a line of these beautiful people here watching in the Shire, and I was in a seat kind of by myself in the back, and he said he turned around and all he saw was just shaking head, just the head shaking. And he was like, "Oh man, I hope he's crying with joy back there because it doesn't look so good."
Yeah.
So what put you to sleep? What did you in, man?
Oh, well, I stayed awake, but I mean, it was all a little foggy. I had to rewatch on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I resisted falling asleep in my buddy's house.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, but it was a close call.
It was hard.
Close call.
So, oh man, I have a few thoughts on kind of some of the things that happened, but I'm curious to see what you guys think too. So they were given the clues the whole time that Hallbrand was Sauron, right? And I had kind of dismissed it early on because I said, this is too obvious.
Right.
The pointing, the breadcrumbs, it just can't be him. And then, lo and behold, it turns out to be Hallbrand, Sauron, or whatever we want to call him. But it didn't run true to me because I kind of was thinking back through, what he had done and all that through the season. And it starts from the very beginning. What was Hallbrand, aka Sauron, doing on a raft with a bunch of random Southerners? Because there's no way he would have known, Galadriel like went to sail to the Undying Lands, but I just caught wind that she jumped off and she's been swimming the channel for the past few weeks. I better hop on this raft and intercept her. And then get her to and then he didn't know that Elendil was going to pick him up in the boat and all of that. And so I guess I always think of Sauron as more calculating or planning. Yeah, but dude didn't even create Mordor.
Matthew, I got to interject here real quick. Hold on a second. You didn't see the Palantir he was holding behind his back the whole time, dude. Come on, dude.
That must have been when I was nodding off.
Dude,
there were two of them in his pants, weren't there? Something like that, maybe.
Maybe that's the director's cut. He's double Palin. He's double Palantiring it.
Okay, so I think, Matthew, kind of what I think maybe what they're kind of doing or hoping for is like this humanization of Sauron. That's sort of like the angle I felt, where it was like, well, but really what you did in that is you made Galadriel seem even worse. You made Galadriel seem kind of like an evil manipulator by doing that. Because if you think about it, if Halbrand was always Sauron, right? If Halbrand was always Sauron, then he was going to stay in Numenor. When they got there. Before that, he was just going to sail off into who knows what, right? He was out adrift.
Yeah.
Then he was going to stay in Numenor. He was going to choose a new life. He liked the people there. He was going to, now who knows what the intentions were, but they didn't seem nefarious at the time. Like he literally just wanted to bend steel. That was it, right? And then he was reluctant to claim like this kingship thing. He said, "I'm not the king. This isn't even my pouch." She's like, "No, you are. You are the king. It is you. Come on, let's go. Let's go." "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go." She makes him go to Middle Earth, right? And then they fight. He enjoys that, but then she makes him become king. And it's like all these things. It's like, wow, it sounds like almost Galadriel was the mastermind. And I think maybe that's the angle they're going for. But again, I don't understand where what is that supposed to do? Is Galadriel a hero or not? Like, do you want her to be a hero in the show or not? That's what I'm confused about. And so I almost feel like Halbrand and Sauron has confused me even more on Galadriel. But that's my take on it.
Even at the end, I guess even at the end, he probably would have never revealed himself if she didn't call him out.
Yeah,
I mean, he was happy just to hang with Celebrimbor and talk about oars. It was weird, and I definitely felt, and maybe I was just shipping them, but I felt like Galadriel was a little tempted when he shot his shot.
There was something, and there was a look in her eyes. I mean, she definitely forgot about Celeborn or Celadide. I mean, he wasn't even a thought in her. Celegon, baby.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Ez, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think she guys. I mean, he just wanted to stay in Numenor. You're right. Yeah. He just wanted to stay there and not roll back. I mean, how dare she? I mean, why did he pick up the pouch? Why did he pick up that Southland? I mean, why did he?
I don't know.
Why did he have it to begin with, my friend?
Why did he have it? Shot though, right? I mean, that's the thing though. That the good point you're making, Matthew, is it seems like quite a long shot. It's a lot of coincidences that have to line up for his story arc to even happen. So there's like a really interesting article. There've been like Hollywood Reporter articles with the showrunners like every week for the past 3 weeks now, I think. And they actually talk about this. They talk about like how Sauron has how he's been portrayed this season, how this whole season was. They're like, it's pretty much just like this big guessing game of who Sauron is. Now that he's revealed, it's going to be like Walter White in Breaking Bad. And I'm like, well, that's an interesting comparison. Okay, he can just roam freely, is what they're saying, and that they actually have even gone on to say that season 2 is going to be more canonical than season 1, and that people are going to watch season 2 and go, "Oh my gosh, I wish we would have had this for season 1." So I think all these questions and these plot holes that people have found, they're definitely on damage control. I think they had been for a while, and they're definitely just kind of. I think they're going to try and like retcon their own stuff, but I don't even know how they can. Like, I don't know how you can move on at this point and still be I mean, certain plot stuff, obviously you can be canonical, but it's just a really interesting piece. Like, people should go out and read it. It's very, I said it to you, Ez. It's very interesting, just because it seems like you guys were all in on this unique take on Middle Earth, but like enough fans are, even fans who are enjoying it are like, I mean, this is kind of weird. And like, I don't know about this. And like, I mean, people who've read the stories or are vaguely familiar with the mythology and stuff are just kind of like, that, wow, that's interesting. That's a different, not really sure how I feel about this or that. And it's like they've responded to that in an interesting way. So I don't know how it's going to proceed. And I think like 2 years downtime is going to be really interesting. But I think that whole Sauron thing is a huge point. It's like, what it does really kind of, in a way, if you stop and actually think about it, you're like, that really does kind of take away a lot of Sauron's power. Like, what ownership does, like, literally, I imagine him walking up to Mount Doom and being like, hey, Adar, is it cool if I post up here for a bit? Is that all right with you and the orcs? Like, is that cool?
Yo, you're in my house.
Right. This is our home. Like, it's so interesting to me. And I don't know how, I mean, maybe they just got this master plan. I hope they do, but
yeah.
Hey,
just I think we have to. Oh, yeah. Go.
No, go ahead, Matthew. Yeah. After you're done, we'll read some comments here in the chat.
I was gonna say, we all just have to hope they have a master plan. But I will say that moment when he's talking to Galadriel,
that was sick.
I forget the exact line. It's like I was here before the first light or whatever, and then caught her dagger. I mean, that might have been one of the coolest. That's in my top 5 moments.
I honestly, awesome. I love the yelling at each other. I thought that was insane. And the reflection and like the whole play on Galadriel's mirror. Yeah. Right? She's looking into a reflection and seeing a vision herself, right? And seeing like a temptation in a mirror. And I thought that was a really cool kind of play. There were things I loved like that. Yes, that was an awesome moment. But yeah.
Just a quick couple things. So Daphne Powers in here said, I found it odd that everyone just accepted Hallbrand as king without any real proof. There's really no checking of that. It just sort of, he got it off a dead man.
It doesn't seem odd within the show, though. That's the thing that, like, it does seem odd, like, it's like when you stop and think about it. But within the show, you're just like, well, of course. I mean, it seems like that happens a lot. It's just like, okay, this is so and so. All right, cool, sure. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a precedent there a little bit of just go along with this, wink, wink. You know, that's a good point, though.
If we want to explain it, though, you could argue that the Southlanders were just so desperate for any sort of like
fair
hope
point
or leadership that they would have just accepted anybody. Yeah, right. That's a good point.
Yeah, Upshaw said that his boss was defeated. He was rejected by the Valar. Let's see, when he went to repent, he failed at discovering the link to the unseen, and he was betrayed by his own mates. He was done. He has done with me. Yeah. So just reading through a couple of different thoughts in here as you guys are talking about those things. Let's see. Yeah, gosh, I don't know. There's a lot, but anyways, yeah, just some good thoughts from the chat here about old Sauron. Yeah.
I have an Ez question here.
Yeah.
How much did it hurt you that Celebrimbor, didn't even take off his dress clothes?
Did you see him? Did you see him? I'm in the video right now.
Hammer?
Hold on. He had his arms. Hammer. He had his arms crossed like this. If anybody's watching me in the video chat, arms crossed across his chest right here. Everything was popping. Everything was popping.
Everything was popping.
And I mean, he had the narrow, like looking down, supervising, like I thought, supervisor role. He doesn't have to get his hands super dirty. He's sort of, coordinating all this. I thought, dang, it's good.
Everything was popping except his knowledge of anything remotely in metallurgy.
How dare you? How dare you say that?
And so now listen, maybe I'm misreading this, but that was kind of a thing that I was like sort of disappointed too, is like it was Sauron who taught him how to, and ask the chat because they might be able to clarify this. I thought he went to learn Celebrimbor's like art. I thought that's why Sauron wanted to deceive the elves, was because Celebrimbor was so good that he could take what Celebrimbor did, put his own little evil twist on it, and conquer all of the other rings and whatever else Celebrimbor was going to make. Not like going in and being like, hey, have you ever heard of mixing metals to make them stronger? I never thought of that.
Actually,
that part was, they kind of did Celebrimbor dirty too. I'm like, dude, he looks like he doesn't even know, like he was stumped by everything. And I guess maybe that's where we talked about that, right? With the whole, like him being humbled would be kind of a way we could see him fall.
Mm-hmm.
But it just felt like they made him an idiot, man. Like, I was kind of sad to see that.
Yeah, and so one place where I think I'll agree with you guys that I was a little disappointed in, and I could be wrong, so the chat can correct me, and you guys can too. Is it not that? And I totally don't remember. And honestly, after the show is over, which is now, I'll start looking into some of the lore and diving back into it a little bit, more in depth. But it always felt like he made the 3 elven rings after they found out about the deceit, which happened, right? But it felt like the other rings were already
they were made. Yes.
Made, right?
Someone messaged us. Yes, someone messaged us and said, "Where are the other rings?
Right?
Where are they?" And then, so when you mess with a timeline, though, I mean, I guess you don't really have to adhere to that, right?
Well, there's really no time actually in this episode at all. That's the whole point, is that there is no time to do everything that you want to do, or that we would want to see done, because you saved it for one episode and you crammed it all into the finale. So it's not even just a time constraint in terms of what you're talking about, which is thousands of years putting it into, this season. It's actually even just the idea that you saved all of it in your 8 episodes for a final episode. Like, we don't get any of that. We don't get any of him working in the workshop or anything. So my whole point is that for Celebrimbor, when you have the like what I thought would be kind of cool would be is if he, this is something that he did to make up for what happened, and sort of they use their powers or their knowledge to make 3 that were separate, which they do that, right? But it just, like, I mean, later on he's gonna get, like, he gets captured and tortured, and like he the whole 9 yards. And so it that part I was a little bit like, man, that would have been cool. So yeah,
it felt kind of like you said, rushed or crammed or something.
Yeah, they only gave it one episode just for They just gave one episode for the rings, but yeah,
all that time with other characters that we had earlier in the season, you could have been building up so what we talked about, like this dedication to show only characters over, like, characters that Tolkien wrote. That's a great example right there. I mean, so it's kind of sad, because you think, like, he is a great character, and I guess the great thing is when people go read more about him, they'll be like, whoa, he was way cooler in Tolkien's mind than he was in the showrunners, or in the show creators, I guess, or the whoever made the final call or work on Celebrimbor. But it just kind of feels like a bummer.
I really like that character, and so honestly, that is one where I was like, because remember we had talked a couple weeks back, and I was like, dude, like, if he's got all this talent and these skills, and he's making these rings, and then we find out someone's in his workshop, or it's Sauron, and then his saving act is to sort of say, I need to do something for my people, and I'm going to pour every skill, everything I have, and do this outside, away from the Dark Lord, and save. And it just didn't feel like, it actually felt more like Galadriel had a hand in it, and Elrond, like, everyone had a hand in it, and it was less Celebrimbor. So I agree with you on that. I mean, it really takes away from him.
It absolutely it was like he literally listened to Galadriel and Elrond talk about, or really Galadriel saying, 1 will corrupt, 2 will divide, 3 will unite,
and I mean,
and then
that's cool. I just wish he would have. I wish he would have said.
Yeah. Oh, he does. He says, shall we proceed? Shall we proceed then? Yeah. That's a good idea. I mean,
yeah.
It's like, Jesus, man, like, you're getting permission from the people who aren't the ringsmiths to make the rings, like.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, I wouldn't be half surprised if, like, the 3 ring bearers for the Elven rings aren't Elrond, Gil-galad, and Galadriel, because Círdan isn't even around. So, like, who would get that ring? It'll be interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So just
Matthew, what else, man?
Yeah. Matthew. Yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh. Well, no, I mean, I was just, going to close on that, my heart just broke for Ez when the only shot of the hammer was, like, the tiny little one when he was beating down the mistress.
He's an old man, he's been around maybe he's got low teeth. Maybe Celebrimbor has a low teeth problem,
Yeah.
He just can't swing that hammer like he used to. He's got to use a little one.
Right.
He's got to go paleo.
Dude, okay, I gotta ask you, Matthew, have you been back to that lonely hotel room in Kansas? And did you like the little tribute we made to you?
I loved it. I have to go back Thursday, so I'm dreading it.
Dang, you're gonna be on your own this time, man. Wow.
I know. I'm like, you guys want to do part 2 on Thursday?
Yeah, right.
Just kidding. You're like, I am taking a month-long break.
We gotta get something out for Matthew, but yeah.
Am I crazy? I thought I heard that Círdan or Círdan is supposed to show up in season 2, or maybe was that just like false rumor?
I don't know.
They're saying that in the chat. Yeah, I'm seeing some of that in the chat too, just about him.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's cool.
That's great.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah.
So what do you guys think is going to happen to Isildur? Because I had this crazy thought that somehow he's going to like join up with Arondir and like just kind of like go on missions in Middle Earth, which is, you know, completely not doesn't follow the lore or anything, but I do think that would actually be pretty cool. And we know Lane would be all about that.
Oh yeah,
I know, what an idiot. I'm such a hypocrite. But like, yeah, maybe like you know, the thing with Isildur might be kind of cool is like a coming of age story. Like maybe he just, I don't know, becomes this great warrior fighting over there and then returns to Numenor to tell them how bad it's gotten and to see how bad Numenor has got. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. Ez, what do you think? What will happen with Isildur?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I think he's dead. I don't know what you guys are. I didn't see any. I mean, why is Elendil crying so much? I mean, it seems like he's gone. I guess, you know, maybe in his spiritual form he might be. But you know what? He's probably king of the dead. If we're gonna get after it here,
right? Let's go. That'd be awesome. Why not?
I don't know. I think it. Yeah, definitely something to. He's got to build, right? He's got to build to be something more than what we saw this season and become something that's legendary. You know, you've got to take those characters to legendary level and status. I mean, you would think. So I feel like that would be the direction they would try to go. So whatever that would be, if it's Arondir, cool. But I don't think it's gonna be. But
I'm actually getting really excited about it now because I'm picturing in Silmarillion the story of Turin.
Yeah,
I believe it's Turin. And for a while, he becomes friends with that the elf guy, the great bowman. I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Hanging on the front line, taking down orcs and like almost holding the line.
That's what I want. That's like one of my favorite. I mean, I've only read it fully all the way through once, comprehending it. It's my favorite Tolkien story. I love Children of Turin, and the Tale of Turin it's incredible. Like, what's that guy's name? He gives him the sword, famous that
the black sword,
and he accidentally kills him with it too, doesn't he? Oh, spoiler alert! But I mean, like, it's a crazy.
That story is dark.
It's such a dark. It's probably one of his darkest tales. But it is. I mean, I just think, man, if you want a modern audience to like get hyped about something, it'd probably be that story. Honestly, it is tragic, but yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I think that I like the idea there. You know, just that I would love to see more for Isildur. I think it was so weird. I think in this episode just to see a lot of characters not even show up. You know, their ending was the previous episode, and their story arc finished there. And it was different. There was too much to. I mean, there's too many different storylines and plot lines to kind of. To wrap it all up, left a bunch of cliffhangers and whatnot. So that was their whole thing. They hung their hat up on this. We're going to leave people in suspense. And we talked about, you know, mystery fatigue and all those different things. But that was from the get-go what they were, you know, that was their intent the whole time was to do that the whole season. So mission accomplished if that's your goal. I mean, right? I mean, you know.
I think it would have been better if we only had one mystery instead of like 8.
8, yeah.
You're right. I definitely hit the wall where it was like, "What's your theory on this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm tired."
Like,
so much.
Just tell me what it is. Just tell me or show me. Better yet, show me what it is. But yeah. Hopeful for season 2, man. I think that's a good way to be. Hopeful for season 2.
Yeah. Yep.
The only way we can be.
There's always hope.
So plus it's just fun being in the Lord of the Rings world.
It is.
Yeah.
And the fellowship is what it's all about.
That's right.
Yeah, it is, baby. This is great. I told Ez, like, this is my favorite part of this entire experience, is just talking to people, talking to Ez twice a week,
dude,
and talking to our friends about it. I mean, this is it.
And Matthew, before you hop off, I mean, again, thanks for calling in every week and stuff, dude. It's like seriously huge, and we love it. I mean, even people in the chat, we've got everything from like a 10 out of 10 on this finale to a 1 out of 10. I mean, and people are still kind of like cordial, talking, laughing, having a good time. So,
I noticed that.
I really think that's okay, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think people coming from different backgrounds and different whatever. I mean, we've got you've seen it, Lane. Tons of people popping in saying, "Hey, don't know who you guys are. Listening to your coverage, just trying to expand their experience or whatever." And they're in the group and chatting away, all sorts of thoughts and opinions that are far ranging. So, I mean, it's got the showrunners have at least got people talking. They've got something. And like you said, we're back and we're talking about characters that that are based in lore, or found in lore, and so that's kind of cool. And we're getting to do it with friends. So thanks, Matthew.
Yeah. Thank you, brother, for sure.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me call in. I had to try to pop on first this time, so I wasn't left at the end.
No, I'm glad you did, buddy.
Risk it again.
Yeah.
If you're ever in Ohio,
you guys take care.
Let us know.
Yeah, hit us up, man.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
All right,
brother.
Catch you guys later.
All right. See you, Matthew. Yep. Oh, wow. There's a legend right there. There's that's
legend, man.
That's a Hobbit Hotline legend. All right.
He is a Hotline legend.
So, oh my gosh.
For
all
sure,
right,
dude.
Here we go. Got another one coming in here hot. We got a lot of people calling.
To accept, press 1. To send a...
Hello and welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. Who do we have?
It's Tino.
Tino, what's up, brother? First episode and last episode. How are you, man?
Right. Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
I'm a little upset I didn't get invited to that least expected party.
Oh, man. Oh, come on now.
Down.
I knew that was going to happen. Next time it needs to be a leaster expected party, and I need to expand it out. I didn't know who would come. It was complicated. Tino, now you're making all this for sure. Guilt tripping me into it.
I'm just messing with you guys. There's no way I could have came down that day.
Oh, wow. That kind of hurts even more. Jeez, wow. That's what that feels like? That's terrible.
Yeah,
I learned it from Sauron to be so deceitful.
Oh, dude. Wow.
Wow. Tino, so last time we talked to you, we were right on that high from the first 2 episodes.
Right.
I was in a different place myself. Ez was excited. We were feeling great. How have you? And if I recall, you loved the first 2 episodes. How have you enjoyed the ride after having a season in retrospect? Now, what's up?
Hey, I'm just here for a good time, and that's
yeah.
And that's what if I'm watching the show having a good time, then I'm happy. Like that's kind of what I've been going with. I felt bad for you, man. You were getting kind of sad.
Yeah, I know there's
boy vibes, and I was upset.
There's probably like a secret help Lane fund that's out there, or like I don't know, like some sort of therapy that's being developed. But I mean, I can't help. Like I could sit here and pretend to still be enjoying it, but I just decided not to. I was like, I'm gonna. Talking to my dad, talking to Ez, talking to Sarah. I was like, I really want to be honest about how I feel, and it wasn't even my knowledge that messed me up. It was someone else's vision of how a show could be done. Like that's the thing, man. That's
what happens when you touch the darkness, man.
You touch the darkness.
Oh, dang,
right? Yeah. That's what everyone has been saying to me, and I feel like I've seen the light on the road to Damascus, my friend. Like I'm blinded from the light of the truth. And no, but I mean, it's okay. Like I dude, honestly, this part, like I have looked forward to talking to you guys, talking to Ez, like that for me has become my favorite part of the show. And I like I said, the show has driven me to the appendices, right? And I was watching, I'm actually watching it right now in the background. And Philippa Boyens brought up her experience in working on Lord of the Rings. She said, the best part of this for me wasn't working on these books I love so much. It was working with Peter and Fran, and getting to work with them as writers. And I thought to myself, that's, I mean, not to put myself in Philippa Boyan's league, but for me, it hasn't been the show itself. It's been hearing from you guys. It's been talking to Ez. It's been having this bi-weekly conversation about the show. And like that for me it's been more memorable than like probably anything we did for any of the books. Probably even any interview or anything. Like this time I will always remember as, until we do it next time, next season,
right?
Like 2 months of
whenever that is.
Whenever that is.
Yeah.
Keeps getting pushed back further and further, man. Did you see the new picture of the set? It's like one building in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, no.
How are you? You're along for the ride. So what have you loved most then? So you're enjoying yourself. You have the right approach.
Man.
You're not taking the lane path. Yeah. What have you loved?
Right. Man, I mean, I loved all the stuff with Arondir and Bronwyn. I just bummed actually that they weren't in the finale here.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
I do like the Harfoots a lot. I do like the Harfoots a lot. And actually, I was really worried for Poppy for a second. I thought maybe she was going to get hit with like a weird knife that the Mystics were throwing. Yep. I looked at my wife and I was like, if they kill Poppy, I'm done with the show. Like, that's it. Like, there's no way.
Protect Poppy at all costs.
I want her to die. Yeah.
I love that, man.
But then they killed Sadok, and I was upset about that. I'm like,
I know.
They faked it out. He got faked out so many times in this episode.
There were a lot. I mean, it started right out the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, okay, when they called the stranger Sauron, that's when I was like, if he is actually Sauron, then I'm actually done with the show. Like, there's no way.
Same, Tino. I was like, they ain't doing that. I was like, shaking my head.
There's
no
way.
way.
There's no way. Because then I was like, because then that makes absolutely no sense. Because Sauron didn't even know about the hobbits really. So then but then it wasn't. It's fine. It's Gandalf. I know some people feel some type of way about that, but it's Gandalf. Come on.
Yeah. There you go. Ez, that makes Ez excited. That makes Ez like.
Yeah, I'm down.
He's amped. I mean,
I was happy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And
I am too, honestly. It's great. I love it.
It does. Like, if you're going to do, like Lane, we've talked about, there's like irreversible decisions, in terms of time shifting and moving characters and geezy cow. Anatar doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? It's just like, whatever. If you're going to do all that, by God, you better give me Gandalf. And that's probably what they said. Look, if we don't give these guys Gandalf after all these daggone changes we've made,
God, give me Gandalf.
I'd be wild.
I love that.
So
I did think it was kind of funny that the Mystics got taken out so quickly. That made me laugh, honestly. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny or not, but I thought it was really funny.
It was super short-lived.
Because everybody hyped them up.
Yeah. Well, and then there was that talk. They were like, you're going to learn their real names. It's not the was it acetate and the groundling or what? I don't even know what their other names were. But I thought we were going to learn.
Like the Star Wars show that's coming out.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. It's And I was like, wow, we didn't even learn those must have been their real names. I don't know. What did you think about them like turning?
We learned that they were made of moss.
I was going to say, what did you think about the ring wraithy kind of effect when they died? Did you like that? I thought it was kind of cool, honestly.
I thought it was cool looking.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And then they turned them. I think that was just like some Gandalf magic where he turned them into like a bunch of moss.
Yeah, almost like a calling card. Like this is Gandalf. I think someone around the fire said that it's like sort of just a Gandalf-y symbol.
Yeah.
And like if he's gonna, his first disintegration or kill or I don't know what you call that.
Right. Well, he did that, and then too he like took all the fire away. Right? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
with the staff.
Like fire and stuff.
Okay, there you go.
So that's some Gandalf calling card.
Right.
Big time. Big time. All right. So the Harfoots, Poppy. What else, man?
Right. I like the stuff with the everybody loves Elrond and Durin together.
Yeah.
My call was that Durin was Sauron, but I was wrong. So.
Wow.
I was just,
dude.
I was just swinging for the fences on that one.
Oh yeah, that's fine. And you can with this show. That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
So.
I was just making a big swing. So I was like, if I'm right, that's awesome.
Right.
A much shorter Sauron. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or just a different form. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just a different form. He can do different forms.
You can. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I didn't realize that Duran was so into Wu-Tang Clan, quoting, I like it raw or whatever.
Oh, dude.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
dude.
I saw some memes about that.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a gangster for sure, that Duran. I mean, like,
for sure.
He's going after the jewels. Yeah. He's got the lady, like, yeah.
Through, doing what he wants to do, minding them. That was, okay, if we're going to talk one negative thing, I didn't love the whole Mithril thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
What about it?
I can look past it. It just didn't hit right for me, and I just was like, that's kind of weird. I don't understand how we're doing that. Especially, I didn't think they were going to lean so heavily into it, because when they first mentioned it, Elrond's like, well, it's apocryphal. It's not even like a real story.
So you mean like the way they made it, like the savior of the elves or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. I'm
not
a weird
loving
one,
that.
but yeah, maybe
but
it'll all be like.
Well, that's what the show is doing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, might as well just buckle
Where
up.
we going?
Buckle up for the ride.
Right.
The ride I've chosen to go on, and so we're going.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, what have you thought about like the Numenorians and stuff, and like Galadriel's?
Dude, you know what? I love the Numenorians. They killed our boy Antimo.
Yeah.
Isn't that awful?
Terrible.
Anthony lied to us, man. Like he told us. Well, I guess he couldn't really say for sure, but he let us on, baby. Antimo lives, is what he said.
They lied.
He did say Antimo lived. He lived for like 2 more episodes.
That's what he was meaning. He means Antimo lives right now in your minds. But I know that Antimo no more.
He lives on in our hearts.
Man,
he lives in our hearts forever.
Like honestly, I think
the Numenorians are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that's when you're talking about my decline and my fall from grace. I think that was really it. It was when I lost Antimo. I said, forget this.
You're out.
Forget this.
Yeah.
Like, I hope Sauron wins, guys. I don't even care how he wins. I hope he wins at this point.
Yeah.
Killed our boy, man.
Well, Antimo's dead, burn it all down. Is that how you felt?
he was the Samwise of the Numenorians, man. I mean, he was just gonna settle down with these folk and help them rebuild. He had seen enough of war for a lifetime, and you kill him.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and he was the main one who was like, "I'm done with this war stuff. I'm deeply traumatized. I don't want."
And he gets killed. He gets killed by a beam, but Galadriel could stand in front of the pyroclastic flow and be fine. Oh, because she's an elf. Whatever.
Yeah, she's an elf, so she gets.
I'm salty about Antimo being gone. It's just, it's hard for
me.
Yeah. I miss you, Anthony.
I
love you.
A lot, and especially they set it up though. They let it. They endeared him to us. They showed that he was going to get married.
I know.
Yeah.
Sad stuff. It's real sad stuff, man. Oh gosh.
Yeah. But, no, I love the Numenorians. I actually loved when when Galadriel was kind of apologizing to Muriel for bringing her over or whatever, and she's just like, "No, we're gonna come back and we're gonna kick butt." Like, she was like,
she's determined.
So now we're coming back.
Yeah. She's like ready to go. I feel like, what do you think?
You guys think there was?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you. What I mean, what would
you guys
like?
Think there was something going on between.
My bad. This is the problem with the delay, man.
Between her and Elendil.
There is totally vibes there, right? Like there's vibes that they are digging each other. I don't know.
My wife Danielle is shipping them hard. She was like, I want them to hook up. I want them to get married. I want them to have babies.
Wow.
Okay. Like, as another reason I love the Hobbit Hotline, I've learned a new term. And I know you're going to think this is hilarious. I had no idea. We heard Matthew say it. We've heard Tina say it. I didn't know what the hell shipping meant. Does that mean
shipping? Oh yeah, dude.
Like relationshiping.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was like an Amazon joke.
Oh, okay. Even whoa. Another
great.
level.
Yeah, no, it's about those boxes that look like power stuff.
But
Amazon sending out.
Amazon is shipping a lot right down our throats. You know,
you ship people like wedding gifts, like you buy things on their registry and then you ship it to them. So okay. Anyway, I got a new term now, fellas. I can't wait to impress my wife. She's gonna think I'm so cool.
Did you ship Halbrand and Galadriel or no?
Dude, I don't know. Like that, there was some tension there. I mean, from the raft.
From the raft. Kind of like
Galadriel was tying that rope onto absolutely nothing, and he was just kind of, like staring at her, and then they had then it just built, right? And the playfulness that was there, and then the whole got real serious after that battle, and he says, bind myself to you. I mean, that's I don't know what generation you have to come from where that ain't a strong play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
listen, if you were single and you were hanging out with Galadriel that much, you'd probably shoot your shot too. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I guess so. Like that probably would. You probably would fall in love with the Lady of Light. Gimli did it. Gimli shot his shot.
Yeah.
Gimli fell up right away.
I don't care where they're from. I want 3 hairs. And she was like, no, he said a single hair. And she said, I'll give you 3, babe. So, yeah, I mean, and then, so anyway, yes, there's definitely an allure to Galadriel that I think maybe even Sauron couldn't exist. Like, did he want to corrupt her? Yes, but I think he also may have been just absolutely in love. Wow.
Right.
Tino, you're asking some...
Maybe that's why he's scared of her.
Oh, my gosh, dude, here we go.
Because he loves her so much.
Whoa,
dude. Are you a psychologist or something? This like heaviness is
and love is scary, guys. Love is scary.
It is.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees. Listen to this, Ez. I'm getting freaked out, man.
Dude, I think he's onto something. No, seriously, I shipped him from the get-go. I said, down. You know? Calagon, baby. So
yeah. You're a Galbrand fan?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it is weird thinking about her in terms of like someone who is that someone you would approach for 3 hairs on her head? I wouldn't, Gimli, I
wouldn't.
Braver than me, man.
Gimli was bold, man.
Yeah.
He was bold. He was totally. This is ironic. I'm actually the appendices are rolling up behind me, right? And I'm like I said, and they're actually talking about John Rhys Davies and Cate Blanchett when they filmed in the Fellowship of the Ring. It's literally talking about this moment. But yeah,
did he have to stand on his knees the whole time?
He was on his knees the whole time, man. A proposal just waiting to happen. Yeah, no, the Galadriel and Halbrand stuff was very interesting. Okay, so the Elendil and Muriel. Ez, do you think that's a thing?
Dude,
what do you think?
I don't think so, but I mean, I think there's definitely like a relationship of some kind.
Friendship.
Yeah. And because the whole Farazan situation, what's actually what's been happening in the city when she comes back? Does she ever really become queen? All that stuff is going to come into play. So, but I mean, if they did, I guess I'd be cool with it. You know, I mean, why not? Like, I mean, maybe something. Like he falls in love with her, and then she's taken by Farazan, and he's got to like fight him. I mean, who knows? That could be what they do.
It would add an extra layer too to the like the downfall of Numenor eventually. Like that would add an extra sadness for Elendil. I actually think that could like enhance a little, or maybe even if they don't get together, like it's like the love lost. Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be
like what could have been type thing.
What could have been. Yeah, because they definitely seem like they've got some good chemistry. Just the 2 actors, I think, and they're both kind of like lonely characters in the story. And they both have like a soft spot for elves, you know. So
right. So just while we've got Tino on here, so Matthew asked, if you could ship any 2 characters in the show, who would it be? I've got mine.
Any 2?
Any 2. I've already got mine.
Durin and Elrond?
No.
I was just gonna say D4 and Elrond, man. Dang, that's mine.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna go with my wife's ship with Muriel and Elendil.
Okay.
I think they make a good team.
Well, guys, I got you right here.
You're gonna say Nori and Poppy. I know it.
No, Nori and Gandalf. Nori and Gandalf. I think I'm shipping.
What's your Belladonna Took thing, man? You are obsessed with these hobbits.
Something
getting together.
Hey, if you want to, let's get down to the real reason. Okay, this was adventures are meant to be shared. Okay.
Oh my gosh! What if Gandalf is the
that was my favorite quote of the whole episode.
Yeah. Right.
The adventures are meant to be shared. I was like,
that one was great.
That felt very Tolkien to me.
What'd you think about always follow your nose? Was that a little too?
Was it too on the nose?
Yeah, a little too. Yeah, right. Yeah, Kurt, I think was a little.
No, I liked it.
Okay.
All right. I thought he was gonna say it, and when he did, it was one of those things like, he said it. Like, kind of,
Yeah. Okay.
It's like when they say the title of the show in the show.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. The Union of the Two Towers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But
it wasn't.
By the way, I want to throw this out there. I do not believe that Celeborn is dead. I'm pretty sure they're just going to do the tearful reunion thing in season 2 at some point.
Is Celebrian around? Do you think like their daughter, the future wife of Elrond, is she around?
That I don't know. I don't know where we're at in the timeline.
It's gonna get hairy because if she's like a child, then that will look weird on screen.
What was is? Did they have the rights? Was she around? I mean, does she mention it? Where's she at? Where's her name at?
I don't know.
I feel like she would have to be. She's probably mentioned the appendices somewhere, right?
I don't know, guys.
Elrond's wife.
In a timeline, if nothing else.
I want them to come out and give us the truth on what they do or don't have, and they might not even know.
They don't know.
They're still debating it.
They gotta ask
Sauron. Yeah, Sauron's Walter White, man. I mean, that's what we know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that does track, and there is some like stuff in the Silmarillion where they say Sauron tried to be good at some point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he thought about repenting and stuff, right? And and
then he was like, "Screw this crap! I'm going back to being evil.
I'm going east and I'm forming cults, baby." Right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was. Boston Orchestron was way easier than Rusty Good.
Make them drink the Kool-Aid and they'll worship you.
Right.
Make a documentary on Sauron's cults. That'd be awesome. Oh my gosh.
Right.
You're way too fun, man. Okay. Next least expected party. I honestly, I forgot how close you were, honestly, man. I mean, shame on me. And can you do me a favor? Can you pray for me? Can you just pray for my Tolkien soul that I can come back and enjoy this show like you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it in the prayer request. And,
please do. Whatever. I mean, however you do it. I need a little bit of help, I think, from the big guy. So
for sure.
Multiple people are going to be doing that now. They're going to be at church on Sunday. I mean, just like, well, I haven't done this in a while, but Lord.
Pastor's up front. Is that what
Lane needs some help.
My friend Lane is lost. He's lost, Pastor. He's straight from the Lord of the Rings.
I'm meeting with the pastor about it. He's having problems with the Rings of Power.
Oh, dude.
Oh my gosh. You're killing me, dude. Dang. Wow. Dude, thank you for calling in. This is amazing, man. Next time we get together, you better be free. And if I contact you, you better not tell me you have something else going on because you'll break my heart.
Yeah.
My birthday brother.
For sure.
All right, dude.
Yep.
Wow.
Later, Quinn.
Thanks,
brother. Thank you, man.
Dang, man. Wow.
Oh my gosh, killing me.
I mean, you got all Middle Earth praying for. Unreal.
I feel so bad when we just get into these long conversations with people, but I can't I don't want people to just feel, you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here thinking we've been talking for an hour and we've gotten through two people, and I don't want people to. I can't have people on and not.
Oh, I know.
Have these conversations. This is. We need we should almost make the hotline almost a regular thing.
I think it's better. I actually was even talking about my other shows. Doing something because it's so fun. It's such a wild element. You never know what you're going to get. And it's just there's comments going on. I'm on Twitter scrolling by stuff that's actually everyone's like, oh, Ez just scrolled past something inappropriate. I'm like, it's Twitter. I don't,
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I actually just had something up on the screen where someone was just tearing the show to shreds. And it was actually kind of funny. It was pretty wild. But we got another caller though, man.
Let's do it.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Amazing.
Andrew.
I know who this is. Hold on. Welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. Who is this?
This is Andrew.
It's Andrew. I knew it. I love Andrew.
Why
I
did
love
they
hearing
give
that twice. I love hearing that twice, dude.
It's so
because
good.
We hear it on the preview. This is Andrew, and then we hear you say it. This is Andrew. Andrew, what did you think of the finale?
I thought at first I didn't like it. It was maybe a 6.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm serious. But as I sat there and continued watching it and kind of took it in, it kind of went to a 9.5.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay.
Let's go. Sinking in.
Journey. Let's hear about this journey.
For some reason I just wasn't digging it. I wasn't feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Are you someone that doesn't like finales, hates goodbyes?
I
I don't like goodbyes, but it's not so much that. I think it was more. I think it was just. I don't know. It was just the way. Maybe it was just the way it was structured. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way it started off with the stranger, and then going into Galadriel going in, it just and then going right into the I guess when I got to the stranger part again, I guess is kind of where it picked up, because at that point I kind of already knew who Sauron was.
Right.
Because he basically, Halbrand basically laid it out when he said to Celebrimbor, consider it a gift.
Yeah.
By that time, when they said that, the mystic said he was, Sauron, I was like, this not possible.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
So,
you sniffed it out. You used your nose. You sniffed it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. That's good progression. Yeah, by the way, my wife said the same thing. Just in terms of like the first half was not so sure, and then
was her.
Yeah. Second half
that was
better.
a great take she had. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't think I watching it again, and then as I was finished watching it, I didn't think that the first part was terrible. It's just that I think it got me as I was going along. It kind of made me rethink what I was thinking as I was watching it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
what did you think about the review? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say something Ez kept talking about with his student there with the series.
Oh yeah.
How it's he thinks it's kind of like they're pushing towards that age limit, that age group.
Yeah.
I look at my son's going to be 9 next month, and he never really wanted to get into the Lord of the Rings. And he's watched it in the beginning. He was kind of not into it. Then it's like he gets these things. He loves all the female characters and all the shows.
Yeah. And
he loves Galadriel. He's making Lego sets and all kinds of stuff, and he's doing this whole thing. But it's like he's obsessed with it now. He rewatched the whole series. He's finally watched the Fellowship of the Ring. And
wow.
It's like it's got him.
There you go.
Him, so
wow. That's cool. That's
a victory right there, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over watching the Fellowship and diving into it more and stuff. And like I said, I think they hung they went the audience and who they're looking at or what they're at. It's just trying to split hairs or thread the needle, whatever it was they're trying to do in terms of the fan base and an older generation. And then also saying, we're going to go for this, keep them guessing all season long. Some people, that's good TV. People like that. Is it good Tolkien? That's another conversation, another debate. But man, yeah, interesting to hear that, because that same student came by. We're going into it, and he was like, just asking me if I was excited for the finale, just super ready to go. And I was like, dang, this kid's still like just fired up about it. So,
this not even to go into the age thing. I think this kind of, although she is, way younger than us, but like I was talking with Cam and Courtney after we watched the finale, and we were just talking about reactions and like impressions. And Cam was like, Courtney's told me that this has actually wanted her to give the movies another go, that she hasn't been real keen to watch any of the films, and how this series has made her want to watch Lord of the Rings movies. And so I think maybe it's not even just I think maybe the show might be geared towards like kids over like us old guys, but I think maybe what it's trying to do too is also drive people into the movies. And maybe that's what the deal with all the although if you haven't seen the movies you wouldn't know the references, but there are so many like we talked about, the ending of this episode mirrors I think Dave Downing was talking about this, mirrors so close to the end of the Fellowship. You know, like Sauron walking into Mordor, it looks almost exactly like a mirror flipped image of Sam and Frodo walking into Emyn Muil and Mordor in the distance. Just all the different like shot homages we've had, like framing and like the way it's like a Galadriel and Theo under the tree with the orcs, and it's very akin to the Hobbits and the the ring race, where like people like me might look at that and go, oh, yeah, okay, I know what you're alluding to, but like it might, if people are seeing that for the first time and they haven't seen the Fellowship, they go, dang, that's an awesome shot. And then they're like, man, is there more of this? I go watch Lord of the Rings, and it's like, oh, there's more of this, and oh, cool, they were tying back to this, and so yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great point,
and I went through a whole thing of tinfoil. He's making rings.
Whoa, dude, you got a Celebrimbor on your hands. Dang, man. Dang.
He's like, is it all right if I take this? Yeah, go ahead. I'll just go buy more.
Yeah. He's gonna be he's gonna be out there looking for pure, gold and silver, and I mean,
he's gonna be digging in the backyard, sure.
Get a metal detector.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
So another one of I don't know if I looked at this maybe in a different way. Also, maybe I looked at it in a literal sense and trying to hang on everything everyone was saying, but like when Celebrimbor was talking to the High King, and he says the key that unlocked the dam. It like that's the reference is a reference to Waldreg. How it literally that's literally what happened.
And he was under the influence of Sauron at that time, because we hear him say a bunch of things that we didn't actually see on screen, but all the dialogue, Galadriel's like, well, hold on a second. And so I didn't catch that one. That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Now did Halbrand know this all along was going to happen?
Well, I mean, maybe that's
did he know? Did he know that this was going to be the way it was?
Well, that's a good point. Maybe he had more control or scheming than we realized at this point. I mean, that could be something that's revealed in season 2. Good point, Andrew. I mean, that's a little nugget there.
So, because Andrew, somebody asked earlier about Adar. They were kind of saying like, I don't get it. I don't understand where that goes or what the whole deal is. That's all left wide open for season 2. And who knows who's lying to who or what the deal might be. If they're going to do a full reversal and start to really just explain stuff, unlike here, they've kept everything a mystery. Everything's just been real hush hush and quick little mentions and breadcrumbs everywhere, and see if you can follow the trail. Whereas I think they're gonna. It sounds like right from that article, Lane. I mean, take it for whatever you will. That sounds like they're gonna try to do something different than what they did this season. So. But that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, because that was the question when we first started the podcast, which was how the heck did he know, or did he know, or how much control has he had over events? Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like even like going back, and I maybe I'm just a little confused too. Was it where he's going back and he's having Galadriel go like look at her different memories? Is he just being influential on the way she's looking back at things, or putting like just twisting her mind and trying to make her look at these views differently,
like with her brother and stuff? With
Finrod, and then going like all that other kind of and then like the
raft and
then let me just look here, because I wrote down something else here about I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I write all this stuff down, and then I
love it.
That's dude.
I
he's on another level.
Make little marks on it, and then I don't even know where I'm looking at.
Man,
you sound like me in my history books right now. I'm sort of like, what did I even?
It sounds like as once remarked on all the markings on my books. Like, dude, what's not underlined? I'm like, I don't know.
Eyes can't track. Where are we at here? I mean, hey, that's a good tell in terms of a good story you're marking up. You know what I mean? Or like good thoughts you got. You're like,
sure. I love it.
Yeah,
freaking awesome.
All right. Well, I don't even know where I am with that, but
it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Join the club, man. Join the club.
So, I know everybody thinks that the stranger is Gandalf.
Oh, but
okay, what do you think? Okay,
it's still possible, but I was just looking at where the mystics come across him in Greenwood.
Yeah,
like Mirkwood. Yeah.
Now, from what I looked at, Greenwood becomes Mirkwood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mirkwood is where Radagast was.
Yeah. Right. For a time. Yeah.
Is
Oh,
that
okay.
a possible connection, or is that just something maybe they're throwing out there to throw people off?
I mean, that's what Joe Lewis wants
think?
that. I think Joe Lewis remarked around the fire just a couple nights ago that he would like a Radagast kind of origin story. I mean, it was really cool hearing, because I didn't hear that conversation on Friday. I was in the garage talking to people, and I didn't hear, except for talking to David Downing about the potato stuff, I didn't hear anything anyone said. And I loved hearing people's ideas of, it doesn't have to be, just because he uses a line and a phrase that Gandalf uses doesn't mean it's Gandalf. It could also mean that Gandalf learned that from another Astari, and that's this Astari.
Right.
His love
and
for
also
the Hobbits.
But they're all connected anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're all the same type of Maiar, right, Ez? I mean, you know more about Astari than I do.
Sorry, I missed the question. What was it? So
all the Astari are connected.
Yeah.
They're part of an order. Yeah, they were sent here. Jesus, sent to Middle Earth to aid in the fight, right, against Sauron.
Somebody said it the other day, and I love this, and I forget where it's at, and I could be wrong, but I feel like I've read multiple times. Like when Gandalf fought that Balrog, I don't know who this was. They sent us a message. They're like, people often forget that that they weren't necessarily meant to use their full power. They were meant to be more guides by the side and help and be, wisdom and counsel, a wise one, right? A wizard. And so
they're equals, aren't they? They're equal and
yeah.
Isn't a Balrog a Maiar as well,
like that sort of level. Yeah, they're on that level, but they're not. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so that was kind of cool, but
it's so cool. Yeah.
I freaking love them. So yeah, the Astari are there, and Lottie was saying to me, she was like, he's the other one, as in like, wait a second, are there more already, or is he just the one Istar? Why did they mention him as like the wording? Just when the mystics are talking to him, it seems like they were anticipating one other who would come to counter him. I don't know. I mean, I really could not, because I know in the lore, it's like, I think the blues come first or something, or no, I don't know. Wait, hold on. Do they come around the time of the ring or something? I have to go back and look, but I feel like they come a little earlier, and they're the only two that people thought could necessarily be in the second age. So, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, I probably didn't answer your question there, Andrew, but I sorry about that. just talking about wizards. I'm actually always looking up some stuff too as we get in these shows. People are like on the stream here, just dropping all sorts of comments about
a lot of stuff. You're multitasking. Could he be Radagast? Is what he was asking.
Could he be Radagast? Yeah, I would be down for that. Radagast is one of my favorites. So honestly, I've always, everyone loves Gandalf, and so you're sort of like, okay, who's another wizard that I can get behind? Radagast. I've always been a fan of his, and I've always wished he had more time and more
dude. If you think about Radagast too, he is kind of Harfooty. He's more Harfooty than he is Hobby. You know what I mean? So that almost kind of, I think about like how he just was. Dude was out there and was connected to nature. And you think about, I mean, hobbits are connected to nature as well, but not nearly as much as like these ancient Harfoots are. They were. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Andrew. No. You're our guest, baby. Come on.
The other thing about Radagast is there is not much of his story told.
Some more liberties. Yep. You could take more liberties with it.
Like even specifically, when he shows up, I don't even remember what movie it is, and that's all Peter Jackson's, his own spin on the whole thing, because there was very little work with him. And from what I understand, I don't even think Gandalf and him particularly cared for each other.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick confirmation back here. Yeah, blues first, then the other three in the third age, but blues were second age, and then yes, I believe so. Blues were second age. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick for food for thought.
The chat, I want to ask the chat too. Was Saruman the head of the order just because the blues sort of like lost their way? Yeah,
dude,
why?
what happened? I mean, that's the
they
whole.
Went out east, and they've like were a part of those cult systems. There's always been speculation as to whether they were under the influence of Sauron. I thought because they went out east and they got like culty and stuff.
Yeah, went to ruin or something, and
like mega church pastors. They're like, hey, come on, fill up the altar.
Yeah,
let's go. Let's get it. Hey, we gotta fill up the offering plate as well. Let's go. Let's
pass it around. Lord Sauron he's building a tower. He's
Lord Sauron needs your shekels, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now.
Donate the gold in your pockets to the One Ring. Let's go. Come on, get it in here.
Mix it with a little bit of blood. It's even better. We'll give you extra. Hallelujah, Sauron.
Oh boy. Hey, question for you guys, and Andrew, just to kind of mix things up here a little bit, because I want to get to this individual, and I can never say her name right. Aarion? Aarion?
Yeah, Aarion. That's right.
Some folks are saying in the chat that perhaps when she touched that Palantir, that's, maybe, and again, I keep saying Sauron's carrying one in his back pocket, that he might have influenced her in some way. People are feeling like she might be influenced by either what she saw with her father and her brother, or that somehow Sauron is distorting that
use her.
that Palantir, so whatever.
That Palantir. I guess I wonder too, like, when does he get his Palantir after? Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna, because I don't know.
I have no.
When does Sauron get his Palantir? I guess.
I don't think he might know. I don't think anyone knows.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, I think that's
after the downfall. The downfall.
If anybody knows, put it in the chat here, because I don't think he has. Like during this time period, I don't think we know.
Well, the interesting thing too is
one from Numenor.
Yeah,
I mean that's the thing that's curious, because I think doesn't Elendil takes them when they flee, when the faithful flee during the downfall of Numenor, if I'm not mistaken. And then, like, the interesting thing is, like, would Sauron have had one at that point? Because he changes bodily forms again too. Like, he comes. Yeah, he loses his physical form and comes back. He's sent back to Mordor, like travels over the waters to Mordor in a spiritual sense. It's weird. Right. I don't understand all that all the way. It's very metaphysical stuff.
Seth is in here tearing it up in the chat. He says that he gets it in the Third Age after Minas Ithil is taken by the Witch King. Is when
there you go.
Is when he
so that late. That's crazy.
Now, hold on, Seth. How do you know he didn't have a different one, but prior to this show, so he could see all the things that are going down?
Right. Okay. Well, it's new lore, man. It's new lore. So when Minas Morgul is formed, that's when it's taken. That's very interesting. I didn't realize that was that late. That's crazy. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Interesting. Yeah. So cool stuff.
That you mentioned that's Isildur's sister, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now somebody was saying on the podcast the other day about Pharazôn possibly claiming the kingdom from Numenor to become the king.
Yep.
Is it possible that he would marry the sister?
How much do you want to know? I mean, like, we could tell you what the lore says, because
no, I'm just saying is
in the show,
because that a couple of things that I like looked, or even I heard, what was it? Tino was the last caller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he kind of said something the same thing I was thinking. Elendil with Matt to marry Muriel.
Muriel, yeah. Right.
So because I wasn't sure if I was reading those vibes, or just looking, reading into it, but when I heard him say that, I kind of felt like, all right, maybe I wasn't the only one thinking that.
Yeah, no, you were not alone. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell, like, what is friendship and what is, like, more than, like, in the show.
Are you talking about Elrond and Galadriel, or who are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, even there, like, honestly, I feel like it's almost kind of like anyone close kind of seems romantic in a way. I mean, even Elrond and D4, honestly, at some points, like, it seems sort of fuzzy that way. So yeah, I don't know. Could Pharazôn marry Aarion? I guess. Like, that wouldn't make him king, though. I mean, that's the thing, is like, it's
right.
It'd be interesting. It'd be a different take on it.
Or take her as a counselor, or some sort of like elevate her, and she starts to kind of, especially if Elendil starts to go more towards the faithful, and he and Muriel are going that direction. If you can divide his house a little bit and get his daughter to kind of, see things from your perspective.
Use him as a piece against him. Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I like her. I don't know what's up though. Her and Kemen. First of all, Kemen, I don't know what he's about. I mean, he's like, that's been kind of awkward and weird. Are they together?
Right. What's going on?
Are they not? And then did she get that position because of him? Yeah. Right. So that'll need to be flushed out next season.
It's peculiar for sure. Did you say flushed out or fleshed out?
I think I don't know. I think I always say it wrong.
I like flushed out better, dude. I'm gonna start using that.
Get the flesh out, baby.
Flushed out, baby.
Come on now.
All right, Andrew, what else you got, dog?
Well, I found my other notes on Halbrand.
Yeah.
It was basically like all the metaphors while they're trying to create the forge with the mithril.
And
he's saying, too much force and the metal shouldn't be forced. They shouldn't be forced to join. And looking at that, I guess in the same way you could say like the shipping is looking directly at the relationship between him and Galadriel, where he's looking at it as maybe he shouldn't be forcing it and forcing her to join him, and maybe he should just kind of be coaxing her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like his mentality with a lot of different relationships or ideas interesting.
Yeah, because doesn't he say like at the end, like what's the quote about to heal or to rule, them being the same thing? That was the thing that kind of did it for Galadriel, and she was like, yeah, all right, you're evil, and was gonna take him out. Also want to mention too, Gil-galad here in episode 1, I got it up on the screen. He's, she might have inadvertently kept alive the very evil she sought to defeat. So the king was right from the get-go, and the elf, he was on it, man. So Gil-galad the wise, he's been seeing this from the get-go. All right.
I've got a bigger question. I just heard Andrew use it too. Am I the only one who didn't know about this shipping term? Am I the only person?
Yeah.
I learned it probably about 2 years ago.
Thank God. Well, 2 years.
I was listening to a Star Wars podcast, and they were talking about shipping. I'm like, what ship are they talking about?
Wow.
Not the Millennium Falcon, my friend. No, they weren't talking about that ship.
For shipping? What's going on?
Right.
Okay, well, that makes me feel really even more late, Andrew. 2 years is a long time. Well, 2 years we were in the middle of a pandemic, man. Now I'm just now.
Well, no, actually, then it was more than that. It was more than that. Then.
Oh God! Come on.
I remember listening to the podcast on my way to work, and it was prior to that. So I was going to tell you too.
You're not
don't go telling your wife you learned a new word, because she's going to say that word's already done.
True. Yeah.
See, look at this, man. I can't even keep. I'm just going to bury myself into the appendices for the next few weeks, and I'm going to learn old language. I'm going to go learn old words. That's what I'm going to do. Right. Can't not. Yeah. Andrew, as always, it's an absolute pleasure. I just wanted to say, like, I love to. I was telling Ez, I hadn't yet seen all, because he gets to see all the comments, and I'm just sort of in the dark here in the garage. So I've gone back and watched the, the conversations that have happened in the comments, and this is what I like. I just love our community of friends, because the conversations between you and Sam specifically, I think very different viewpoints on the show, very different I episode to episode, but the cordiality between people. And I love that we can disagree. Even Ez and I right now, we're not agreeing on the show, but it's not it doesn't have to be this personal thing. It doesn't have to be something that makes you upset. It doesn't have to be this thing that rips your entire friendships apart. It's cool to disagree, almost in a sense. It's cool to do it in a kind way. Yeah. Where you're just it's cool. You see that, I see it differently. And as for the most part, we really haven't had that yet. Like you and I have
we typically see things like
at least on the same kind of, and then different characters,
or we see different things, or we gravitate towards different elements of the story. Yeah.
But like it's been so nice to see that mirrored also in the chat with
oh man, like, such a diverse group.
So anyway, I want to give like my hats off to everybody for like keeping it kind and keeping it classy, and I obviously expect nothing less, but it's awesome to see like just the cool conversations that people are having. That's what Ez and I hoped for at the very beginning, and so to see that like still happening to this day is just like it humbles us, man. It makes us feel so happy that we never stop doing this. It's great.
From my point of view, I mean, the way I look at it is, my point of view is not any more important than somebody else's.
Amen, dude.
So,
yeah.
Like you guys say all the time, as long as it's not disrespectful or derogatory, or, people are allowed to have their own, their own feelings or whatever it is that they want.
Yeah.
And like honestly, when I hear you talk, you get me excited for the show. When I hear people's differing opinions, like if someone says something, like Tino, he's like, dude, I'm just enjoying it for what it is. It makes me think, well, like, what am I like? Why am I like just, I am being honest in my evolution of my feelings towards the show, but it gives me hope for, I don't know, whatever. Like something could happen that changes me, or it'll be okay if not. And I love that, that we're able to like learn that from each other. So
yeah. Yep. Agreed.
And I appreciate you guys doing what you guys do too. So
yeah,
I know it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm working
love
so hard. Sitting on my butt right now, drinking a beer. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I'm busting my ass for you, Andrew. I love you, dude. You're amazing, man. We need to have Andrew on an episode. Like if we ever read Silmarillion or
dude.
Get into the appendices and stuff. I would love to have Andrew.
He's been doing his research, man. He's been. He's got
notes. He's ready for.
I know it, dude. Man. I know.
Yeah.
So
great.
All right. Well, hey, Andrew, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, we'll see you.
All right, brother. See you.
Yep. Man.
Love it, as I love it.
I know. We got a call coming in again, man. We don't even have time. We're just rolling right in here.
How are you, man? How are you?
I'm good.
Call from
Brendan.
To accept, press
oh man,
1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Dude, hold on. I can't even. Here we go. That was tough.
All right. Well, welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. Who we got here with us?
Hello. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Let's go.
Nice. Who is it?
Who is this?
This is Brendan.
Brendan.
I've never called in before.
Brendan.
Welcome, dude. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. What do you want to talk about, man?
This is a wild card here. We don't know what Brendan's going to come in here. Everybody's been cordial. He comes in here shooting just left and right,
You'll rip us apart.
Who knows?
Brendan, what do you think of the show, man? What have you thought about this season so far, and this finale? What are your thoughts?
Wow, this show has been an adventure.
Okay.
I've been following it for a long time, but okay, I got to say something real quick beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? I don't know how long ago was it. You guys remember when you hid that ring in the forest?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Guess who went looking for it? I went looking for it. I was the one who put in the comments. I couldn't find it. I went like Aragorn into the wilderness, searching for this ring. And I tell you what, I found the tree in the picture, but I could not find the ring. I don't know where it was.
Oh my.
Brendan, you deserve something. We're going to send you something.
I've got a ring right here. I got a ring right here on the chat in the video. And I got you, dog. I'm gonna reach out to me. I'm gonna send this to you. That's wild.
How long did you look, Brendan? I want to know this. How long?
Man. Probably 2.5 hours or so.
Oh my Lord! Can I also ask? Did you enjoy Clear Creek? Because it's beautiful.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's so beautiful down there,
isn't it?
So it's crazy. I'm actually I go to school in Cincinnati, and I was on a co-op at that time. I was co-oping in Pickerington. I feel like you guys have probably heard of it.
Yeah,
right?
you're so close to us. Yeah, dude. Yes. Just west of Amanda. Yeah.
Right. I'd been listening to the podcast, and I was like, Amanda, Ohio. Hey, I'm in Ohio. I wonder how close that is. And I looked and I was like, wow, this is so close.
So close.
And I saw where you guys went to the park, and then I was like, well, I don't have anything better to do. It's a Saturday, and it's beautiful out. I'll go up for the ring like Bilbo. I don't know.
Gosh.
That's
an
wild.
adventure for sure. Dude, that is awesome, man.
Oh,
wow.
Man, it was crazy.
Okay, so you've been listening for a while then, yeah? Is that true?
A good bit. I wanted I think I just wanted like a Tolkien podcast. I love podcasts, and I just wanted to listen to it throughout the day whenever I was working on stuff and driving to and from work, you know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So cool, man.
You guys, and you guys are just like you said, you're the hobbits. You're always got that, you know, optimistic kind of feel to it. It's always I can just see the passion. So it's been really enjoyable for me, you know, no matter what. So you guys are my fun time podcast.
Oh, that's wow, dude. Hey, we're honored, Brendan. We're honored.
Let's go.
Okay, tell us, ring searcher. I don't even know. Gollum, maybe. I don't want to call you.
Whoa,
Gollum, but
okay, we'll go. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with that.
What have you liked about the show? What did you like about this finale, man? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I've been watching the show and following developments from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that the number one thing that I'm happy about the show and how it closed the deal is that it kept that, I guess, Tolkienian sense of like goodness and purity, and like it. The number one thing I was worried about is they were going to make it really mature, and it's like you know, Tolkien wrote The Hobbit for his kids, and it's like there's something about that pure innocence that you don't get in like anything else, you know. It's like it's not Game of Thrones. Like they're both fantasy, but they're very different, you know. And I was just hoping they would keep that, and so I was very glad that all that sort of pureness and purity in it was really in every layer of the show.
Yeah,
I think that was the number one thing.
That's a great point. I mean, Ez and I talked about. We remember when the intimacy coordinator was hired, and all these, you know, all these articles were being written about like Game of. I mean, I think it was the OneRing.net or somebody released an article that said Game of Thrones. I almost said Game of Sex.
I know.
Game
I was
of
like,
Thrones sex scenes on the horizon for Middle Earth, and I remember recording and talking about this and debating like, how does this fit in? Can this fit in? How will fans react? How will we react? Do we want this? Do we not want this? And so there you go. And talking about like things to take away from the show that are positives. That's in my opinion anyway, whatever, is a huge positive because it makes it more accessible. And we're talking about all these kids who are watching the show, who are getting into it. And I'll tell you, man, like my girls haven't watched very much of it, but I have played some of the earlier episodes for them, and they are obsessed, just like Andrew's son, obsessed with Galadriel. Obsessed. Like they're like, Daddy, can we watch now they ask, Daddy, can we watch Lord of the Rings? Daddy, can we watch The Hobbit? Daddy, can we watch Galadriel? Like they call the show Galadriel. So I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, and we were worried about that. Like I was worried about like my kids not being able to see the show until they're, you know, like teenagers, right? Because of that fear of that loss of innocence. And so it's a great point, Brendan. Okay, what else have you enjoyed? Like specifically stuff. What are some characters, some storylines that you've enjoyed?
Okay, yeah. So favorite storyline, and this probably isn't too controversial, is absolutely the Elrond Durin stuff. All their friendship. I don't know whose idea that was. Give them a raise. That was
that was a great idea.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's giving us a whole new look at Elrond that kind of like I didn't expect, because you know, with the dwarves in The Hobbit, when the dwarves come, he's a little bit, you know, I don't know if this is a good idea to go trouncing into Erebor and waking up the dragon, but it was cool to see that like more familial like relationship with Durin the dwarf, and just seeing that friendship. Oh, screams Tolkien to me. I love that. Love that.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Like, and even a more kind of like humble Elrond. Like he hasn't arrived yet. He's not an elfin lord. He's still kind of finding his footing and stuff. Yeah. Awesome, dude. Right. What else, man?
Okay, so this is just a funny connection I was thinking of at work today when I was listening to you guys. The cultists or the Mystics, whatever we're calling it.
Yeah.
Okay, their soundtrack, and this might be more of an Ez question, but their soundtrack, they have that. Listen, I know you do the Star Wars Hangout, but they sound like the Phantom Menace, that or whatever. It sounds just like that whispering in the background.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're right. They do. Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's well, I mean, we knew all along they were baddies, but that you're right. The music around it was really good. I haven't even had a chance to go back and I want to and just go back and listen to the music and listen to those layers. Like it all just sort of fell into place, and you would hear it, and you didn't even realize you were being, I don't know, just pulled. I mean, Bear was pulling us this way and that way, and really trying to bring out what the show wanted to. I feel like the music is the best part. It's been well delivered, and and
then even having like specific soundtracks to each episode too.
Yeah,
like that's something that we didn't even like. We anticipated a complete recordings thing maybe that we had talked about when we reacted to the soundtrack, but not like I had no idea they would do like an episode by episode soundtrack.
Sure,
you're right. I would say I'd agree with that. Music has been easily the most seamless from the trilogy we love to the show. Like it's been beautiful. Yeah, but it sounds so much like Phantom Menace. Yeah.
I listen to the soundtrack all the time in my car, and not only the instrumental, but just the Hobbit walking song we got. That was, I was so happy to see that it's like, hey, this is classic Tolkien, and even if he didn't write that, it sounded just like something he would write, and I just love that song. I thought it was really harken back to Bilbo's walking song,
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. It's funny you bring that up too. My cousin Luke, I was talking to my cousin Luke about what he thought about the show and the music, because he's a musical person, and I was like, what do you think of the music? He said, I was hoping for more kind of like, he said, I loved it so far, but I was hoping for more of the songs, like just songs that like Tolkien would constantly write. And I feel like it was before that episode, and so to see kind of more, and I think, wasn't there the Numenorians before they left, didn't they sing some kind of like bar song or something? They were drinking and they were singing a song, if I recall.
Yeah, they did.
But it's funny that right after I talked to him, we had a couple episodes where there were like songs, and it did feel very, Tolkienian. That's a great point. Okay, what else, man? This is great. This is great talking to you.
Oh, this is so cool. I can't believe I got on. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I thought about calling the first day, and I was like, I don't know. And so I literally sit down, and I'm like, oh, they're live streaming now. I can do it now. So this is crazy.
Dude, yeah, glad you did. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So another thing, this one's more of a kind of maybe an open-ended question. So I've been listening to as well another podcast called by Corey Olson. He's like the Tolkien professor, so he knows all this stuff.
Yeah. One
of the things I kind of questioned after watching that is, what is the kind of dynamic of the Rings of Power? The Elven Rings, why were they made? Well, part of it was to preserve the Elf Kingdom. But now, and a lot of fans kind of were not so sure about how they felt about this, but with the light of the Silmarils and thus the light of the Trees of Valinor in the Mithril, is it the light that's sustaining the elves? Is it the fact that, the rings are like magical and their spirits are bound to them? What is it? Is it the light? Is it their spirits? Is light a deception? I'm just kind of unsure as to what the point of the whole song of the Roots of the Hofleigir myth was. So that's just something I was wondering about.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that the overemphasis on the importance of Mithril has been something that I wasn't aware of. And I questioned. I was like, is this just something for the show? Is this something that Tolkien wrote about? That's something that has been kind of like baffling to me too. I think the way you said it was, you just blew my mind, honestly, thinking about the emphasis on light. And then I'm even thinking about all the themes we've seen in the show, just purely show stuff about like light, following the light, which light is the one that you follow. Refracted light, how that is tempting, but it's not the true light. It's not the source of the light. And then even thinking about like Galadriel's mirror, how a mirror reflects light. It's not light itself, but it gives the illusion of light. What is it about the Mithril? I don't know, man.
Well, I think that was it's almost like because they condensed this the way that they did, it's like you have to like what's the problem? What's the need to just do this? Because I mean, in the second age, like from what I just remember a little bit was, Anatar shows up. He's a Lord of Gifts, and he claims that he's from the Valar, and he starts to kind of instruct them in the art of ring making. He says he's from the Valar. They don't think he's. Some people distrust him. Celebrimbor's are like, hey, what's up? And then they're learning this ring craft, and it was just all to deceive them into making rings that he could then bind with the one ring, right? That he could control. And so it's just a big power grab. So they totally didn't do that. That's something, I mean, it doesn't seem to be what they went for. There's a reason that the elves are interested in making, because we don't really have I mean, I guess if someone in the chat can tell me why they were making rings to begin with, like he just shows up and they're making rings and they
because they didn't have enough to make crowns, bro. Come on,
I guess, dude. I get right. I mean, so I guess there's a reason. I guess that's a good. You know what though?
Great question.
We laugh about it, but it's sort of like what in the lore. I guess some lore people in the chat here or whatever. Why? And I'm not a lore master. Have no freaking clue. I'm thinking to myself, why were they making these rings of power? What was the reason? Because the reason they do it here is because, well, we got to save Lyndon. We got to save our people. And it seems like they were just taught this fancy craft and they all were just deceived by Anatar. And oh shoot, we were making these really cool things. And this guy's got us all bound. He's going to try to bind us all to the one ring. And there doesn't seem to be a reason why they were engaged in the ring. I mean, they were just craftsmen.
Brendan, I gotta say that I was just gonna say you've been listening to us long enough that you can't ask us those types of questions.
Yeah, because we don't know.
You have to send us those ahead of time.
I know.
Ahead of time, and we have to do research first. Come on now, like don't give away the illusion here. Come on, Brendan.
Oh shoot, you're right. Hey, that's what I love though. That's that Hobbit-like curiosity. I'm just gonna bat around.
That's for sure.
Pull up star maps and see what we can get.
Yeah,
just like Rip Zadok, man. Oh, that was great. Oh. Yeah. So I don't know. That's an open question. Something I'm thinking about. I know. I know at the end of Third Age, I think Galadriel, was kind of sad that with the unmaking of the One Ring that her kingdom and stuff with the power of her ring would pass away. I don't know. It's interesting they're doing. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but more to come. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out in season 2.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Cool.
That's great stuff, man. Anything else you want to share and spit before you go?
You know what? I don't think so. I think I got my stuff, and I just couldn't wait to tell you guys about the adventure.
The One Ring.
Man. Hey, will you DM us? Like, send us a DM, and we'll give us your address or somewhere we can send something for you. We'll send something your way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because that's.
I mean, that's a valiant effort. We got
because we were going to reward people for going out there anyways, and you're the only person I've heard who's I think gone out there, right? So
that's crazy. I do remember your comments on the video though. So yeah, send us something. Just up Talking Tolkien on Instagram, and we'll get back to you. All right.
Okay, guys. Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate it. It's so great getting to talk to you. It's weird hearing you respond to my voice now. Not used to it, but yeah, thanks for doing this, guys, and hope you have a good rest of your night, and I will keep on listening to y'all.
All right, you too, man. Thanks so much,
brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, all right.
Wow, dude.
We got a little lore master. Brendan, he wasn't keying on to it, but he's a little lore master.
Oh,
man.
He did. Yeah, he's scratching around.
That question was, I don't know if it's because I'm sitting here looking at 4 empty cans, or if I think even normally that would have told me, but I'm like, whoa, this bro is going. Wow, he's going for it. He's going for it.
Yeah, he did. Dang. I love it. I love
it. Wow.
All right, hey, we got another caller, man. We said we're keeping it open late tonight, so
let's do it.
Let's roll through these. It's 10:10, baby.
Let's go.
I know, dude. So here we go.
Mike.
To accept, press 1. To send a...
Hello and welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. It's 10:10 in the evening here in the Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Shire Time, as we like to call it. Who do we have with us here?
Oh man, it's Mike of Shire.
Let's go. Okay, Mike, did you come on here to apologize for talking about all the trash you've been spitting about me or something? Like, what's going on here? Are you talking bad about me, Mike?
Ezra's supposed to protect you from that.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, don't. Hey, yeah.
I don't know who to be
hey,
mad at.
Down.
Shoot. I'm the Dark Lord, guys. My bad. Darn
Lord.
it.
Never who you expect. Mike, what's going on, man? What do you think of this finale? We heard from you a couple weeks ago. It was awesome to hear your voice. Yeah, dude. What did you think about this, man? Tell us.
I think that this finale was good. I thought it was a little rushed. Like they went kind of slow through most of the series, and then a lot of things felt rushed. But then on second watch, after I knew what they were doing, it was better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did want to just touch on a couple things. So in your I guess the normal episode, right? Your normal podcast, I was talking about the rights. So from what I understand, yeah, they have the rights to the appendices in Lord of the Rings, but I guess they won the contract based on their willingness to work with the Tolkien estate. And with that, so they have I think Simon Tolkien. So what I don't know, one of the kids or grandkids, he's a consultant on the show. So they're working some degree of closeness on various things. So that's how we're able to get a lot of things from the Silmarillion in the show.
Okay.
So it's like what they were talking about around the fire. It's like kind of like bones almost, or extra access that isn't explicit to rights, but helps inform the story. That makes sense, honestly. I mean, I think Simon also was
here and there.
Yes. If I remember correctly, Simon was a huge fan of Lord of the Rings films, and then also helped consult in the Hobbit films, maybe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Don't tell me that.
it's one of the like great grandchildren. I think that's true, man. Look it up, fact check me, but I think Simon is like the great grandson or something who was like, he was on set for The Hobbit. Like he was there, he was walking with Colbert. He's like, "Hey, dude, this is my gang, man." And they're like, "Oh, cool, bro." And Tariel's sweet, right? I know, dude.
He's like, "Hey, I know we can do a love triangle." No. Oh, no. Well,
yeah, so,
okay. Well, anyway, so that kind of, so yeah, they're getting some things here and there from.
Okay, that's clarification.
State.
That's good.
Yeah. The other thing, okay, so the Blue Wizard.
Yeah.
I think there's still a chance. I know. Okay. I guess as you want Gandalf and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm happy a Wizards here, buddy. I'm happy a Wizards here.
Yeah, that's true.
So the way I see it, they're trying to ease the audience, the casual audience, and then give them something familiar, ease them into the Second Age world, and then throw this. So like for Halbrand, right? So they say, okay, we want Anatar remake. So we'll give them Halbrand. We'll make him look like Strider, something really familiar, and then we'll throw them the twist. And so I hope they're doing the same thing with the Stranger. We'll give him a lot of Gandalf feels, and then let the audience really kind of fall into this age, and then we'll reveal that he's actually a blue. There's another color out there.
Mike, I kind of like that better, honestly. Like, I didn't think about it until I listened to this morning, this afternoon. I listened to bits and pieces to the conversation around the fire after our finale hangout, and I like that idea. I mean, I've liked every idea Ez has thrown out about the possibility of the Stranger. Every single one, I'm like, I like that one. I like that one. I like that one, buddy.
I tossed all 5 out there, but he's only,
you did.
I like them all.
I've liked all of them, and for it to be a blue, I mean, it makes sense. It'd be cool to see. It'd be interesting to see how there are traits that are similar between all of the Astari, right? In this single Astar. I like that, man, a lot.
Yeah. And actually, in the campfire thing, someone mentioned, hey, what if they're, all the other 4 out there, and this is the last one to come up. So Gandalf coming up, and I had not thought of that. I think I'd be cool with that. That'd be cool. Or Radagast. I'll go with Radagast.
With Radagast,
But so even, I mean, they're given a lot of hints. So they talk about Ruin, they talk about the East, even the cultists. Like they could have had the antagonist in the Harfoot storyline be just dwarves the whole time, or maybe a troll or something. But they chose to go with cultists, and I think that's a direct clue to point to the blues. And then the whole like teetering between is he good, is he bad, is he good, is he bad. That's the same thing that Tolkien had with the blues.
Yeah, with the blues.
Where initially he was saying, hey, they failed, they were bad, and then later in life he's like, okay, maybe they were pretty good.
Yeah. Wasn't one of his kind of ideas too that they just kind of got lost, like they sort of just lost their mission or whatever? I think I've heard Ez say that a bunch. Like they just sort of lost their, like wasn't Gandalf the only one who really truly remembered the mission that was given? If you think about
because Radagast
kind of
gets
falling away, and Saruman becomes a traitor, and the blues just kind of wander off, and like the one who remembered the task was Gandalf. Right? Is that right?
I mean, yeah, you can infer that. You kind of infer it. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Okay. My bad. Okay.
No.
I don't need to infer on here.
Well, hey. I can't infer much.
I think he was the only one that succeeded, or something. It's not. You could read into it, and maybe they did do a good job, but they ultimately didn't do. I don't know. They got a B+. Didn't get the A.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He's the only one who aced it. Okay. All right. What else? How do you feel about what's going on with the Isildur? I mean, is he alive? I don't know.
Jeez.
It's gonna be the horse is gonna find him and lick his face.
It's gonna be an Aragorn thing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And that it is what it is.
Oh, hey. Yeah. While we got Mike on here, so the okay. I saw this interview. Morfydd Clark was out there, and they're asking her about her favorite scene from the trilogy. And she said it's the scene where Aragorn comes back and pushes the door open and looks super epic or whatever and comes in. And I thought, isn't that ironic? Something that doesn't actually even happen in the books is her. Wow.
I'm just thinking she's old enough. She probably had like a poster of that on her wall at some point. She's probably like,
oh yeah.
Damn, Vigo, let's
go. What's up?
Yeah. I mean, didn't we all, right?
But the horse, I mean, Mike's coming with the horse. I thought that
I could see that now, like that, how she's trying to embody that, whatever that scene is.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Maybe that was her like touchstone for the entire role, or her interpretation of Galadriel was, I want to be Aragorn walking through those doors every single scene.
Wow.
That could have been.
Yeah.
Mike, I got the only real question I'm going to ask you is, when are we going to get you out in the Shire, man? When are we going to get Mike Upshire in the Shire for real? Will it ever happen?
So, is this going to be kind of a yearly, around the same time kind of thing?
Well, so the next season's not coming out until like 2024 is what we've heard.
Wow.
Oh yeah, by that time, I'm just saying, like this time next year, I'm going to be at a career transition where I'll have lots of free time. So if you do another,
another LEP, okay,
I think I'll be there.
Oh man!
So we could literally start a campaign that was LEP. Is it 3 as LEP 3?
Yeah.
For the Shire, and people wouldn't even know that we're talking about you until now.
right.
For the Shire.
But that's a good follow though. So with 2 years though, how are you guys going to keep busy? Like, what's going to be your main thing to like?
Oh, right. Put us on the spot. Wow.
Jeez, Mike. Okay, business meeting. Ez, what are we doing for the next 2 years?
First of all, we're taking a long nap. We're going to take a long
nap.
Nap. And kind of reconvene. I do actually think so. I know this is the last Hobbit Hotline. We do have some folks that I actually just got. Travis Sigler just reached out to me. And and I thought
we missed him. We missed him in Max.
Yeah. So I thought maybe we would kind of, do something, take a week off or whatever, maybe do a couple more just whenever we have time. No schedule on that, just unexpectedly drop a few more, thoughts, comments, just different reflections on the show and kind of go from there. Maybe we'll get Anthony back on and say, dude, what's up? You lied to us.
You liar. Come on.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Is he lying about the statues of me in New Zealand too? I'm starting to think that was a lie too.
Yeah, he probably.
Dang it.
He's sorry.
Well,
dude.
hey, huge shout out to Mitch Pope, longtime listener, good buddy that another good friend that I've never met before. Amazing man. He was like, he messaged us a couple days ago and said, guys, what do you think of the show? He was like, I really wish you would have done a Silmarillion like read through. So that might be kind of interesting. I also thought it'd be really cool to do, like, for Ez and I to literally find out. Well, not even find out, to just go through the appendices. Like, to go through the appendices like we would I don't know if that'd be interesting for anyone. It'd be interesting for us, though, to go through an appendices like we would a read through.
Dude,
or a reread.
First of all, so
I mean, like, this is what they had access to, and this is what could have been in the show, or is not in the show, or is in the show. So,
and Mike, I'm glad you asked this question, because, like, and the spirit of all this, and Lane said this a couple callers ago, which is that, like, it actually, for me, I've been kind of holding off on deep lore dives or whatever, but I've done a decent amount just on like Tolkien Gateway, and just jump around to what, different things. We've been falling asleep to the Silmarillion almost every night. So
what are you're the lore of the rings? Is that what you're saying, bro?
No. Whoa. Not even close. But I think we do have sort of I think people would appreciate the Hobbit approach to the Silmarillion, because I mean, we're just hobbits. Like, I think people get so intimidated by it because they're like, dude, I don't know, all these names, all these names starting to run together, and they do. Like, so I actually wouldn't be opposed to doing. I mean, Matthew Johnson's in here crying out for it. He's like, just one a month, once every 2 months, whatever it takes. Just drop me something.
Company in Kansas. He needs some company in Kansas.
Yeah,
is what he needs.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Silmarillion, please. They're saying yes, appendices. I'm in.
And so, what would be cool? Would be cool to, like, obviously go through that and do like we do with the read-throughs, where we have, I mean, we've never been this collaborative, Mike. Like, we've always had friends on for chapter rereads and stuff like that, but we've never had this much collaboration in this short of period of time. Trying to keep that going would be really interesting and fun, I think, too. So
even a segment where people wanted to call in and talk, like, if we knew with a chapter, and we knew, like, a bi-weekly thing, or even once a month or whatever it was, people knew the 15th, we're doing it on this Friday or whatever it might be. That would be fun, because I think sometimes when it happens too quick and too fast for us, like, we've got different things going on, we're like, we like to have, I mean, I freaking love talking to Lane, and just half the time we're making jokes about what's happening in the chapter, which helps me remember it a little bit more. So I'm sort of like, which is good. But yeah, I would be down. Because I think people would love to hear, just some.
We got to finally have Mike on, though. That's the only
thing. Yeah, Mike. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I got
to. You got to vow right now to come on and join us.
Otherwise, we're not doing it, dog. We're not doing it.
It's on you.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right, there we go, baby.
We got a sure, baby. It is on.
That's the
Upshaw.
We got the we have the dongle that changed everything, so we can always people literally, like, just call in, and we can just set up something. Yep. That's been fun, dude. The ease of that, like, people just calling in on Fridays afterwards, and just chatting with us, Lane. That is,
it's been a blast.
It's so good, because you and I can be together, and then just like, listen to that phone call coming in. That'd be the way to do it.
I love being together with you, man. Honestly,
same, dude. I can't believe we're revealing.
This is the right.
We're revealing
real feelings.
God,
it's fitting that it's with Mike. Mike's been here since the beginning, man.
Mike's crying. He's tearing up.
I definitely like the community you guys built. So it's anything to keep that going would be great.
Yeah,
it's all you guys, man. We just showed up. It's you guys who have made it special. So we appreciate you so much.
Yep, for sure.
Actually, so some of the others in the chat are saying, so in addition to, or maybe alternative to the appendices or somewhere in, the Children of Huron or Fall Gone One, some of those.
Man, so Mike, I had always been thrown off by Children of Huron because there are so many. I have the Alan Lee illustrated version that came out, I don't know, like, it might have been 10 years ago at this point now, but I would start reading it, I would get lost in all the names, and then I figured out, I'm like, a lot of these names are map locations, and it's the stuff that was, like, sunk during the reforming of Middle Earth or whatever. I don't even totally understand it, but I was like, okay, this map is perfect because it folds out and you can literally look at the map as you're reading the book. The way they did that version is perfect. And so during it was actually during I was teaching online in 2020, was it 2020 in the fall? I had an online class, and so I had a lot of dead time in between classes where my kids weren't doing their work because it was just how it was. And I wasn't teaching. So I was like, I'm going to read this book finally. And I read through the whole book, and I loved the story so much that I think I texted. Didn't I text you, Ezra? I was like, dude, if they needed to adapt anything, if they wanted to literally adapt anything from Tolkien, it would be the Children of Huron.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like you could lift it from the pages not even change a thing and make a really good movie or show.
Sure. Yep.
So yeah, I would be down for that too, to even get into some of those.
Yeah.
Like the great tales. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be cool. Cause then we could talk, more next season about just things we learned and connections. Cause I'm surprised with some of the stuff they went for and connections, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah, I don't want to hold the lines. I'll just throw this little seed out there. If you're looking for more Tolkien, Lord of the Rings stuff to keep you busy, so the LCG, Fantasy Flight Living Card game, is just doing a reprint of kind of a revised core set of the game. It is phenomenal if you're into kind of exploring it through a card game format. So I'll just leave it at that. But I'll get off the line so others can call in, and definitely appreciate you guys.
No, that's cool. That's cool. We'll have to look into that.
Send us information on that. We'll post about it on Instagram. Did you do that for us?
We'll do.
Yeah.
All right, man.
We'll do.
Awesome. Thank you,
Mike. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, buddy. That's good.
Later.
Alrighty.
Dude, as I am getting such good vibes. This is amazing, dude.
Oh, dude, I know. Hey, something I wanted to say too before the next caller pops in here. No one's calling right now, so we're good. But dude, I just want to say, you think about in terms of you said something earlier where you're like, yeah, it's good to hear all these good vibes from different people or whatever. And I think coming into a show, you challenged me a couple weeks ago with the whole Star Wars stuff. It's after you take your hat off and sort of say, this is just not gonna be the ride that I'm gonna be on, but let's just engage with other people and make jokes that are fun. The memes are killing me. I'm on Twitter right now. Just even somebody who loves the show, I'm really actually reading, not even kidding you, hate comments. People are just super upset about stuff, but they're funny. They're actually funny. And that
funny.
says something too, right? That it's, okay, there's things to be made fun of. One of the best things about the prequels, of the Star Wars prequels, is there's so many memes about those movies, and people trashed them, but yet they're awesome. So yeah.
Dude, even when we were talking about when I was doing in defense of the show, early on, do you remember those?
Oh yeah.
First few episodes, and I was pointing out things in the Lord of the Rings that were pretty hilarious.
Oh, heck yeah.
90% of Legolas's lines are just obvious statements that we knew anyway, the opposite of show versus tell, And so you can poke fun at anything, and that's the cool thing that a lot of people don't. You can even poke fun at Tolkien at some point. It's pretty hard to do, but you could manage it to poke fun at Tolkien.
Right.
There's a National Lampoon's version of a spoof of Lord of the Rings. It's called Board of the Rings. I've even thought about us reviewing that at some point. I'm pretty sure there's an intimacy scene with Galadriel and Frodo, and some kind of something with water. I don't know exactly what happens, but it would be, even that would be kind of fun, maybe for the appendices or something. We read that.
Yeah, something fun.
We're gonna have a couple years. That's a long time.
I know, which is why
it's not that long.
Yeah, now I'm down to kind of fill with Silmarillion. Hey, real quick, I got a caller coming in here. Let's grab this real quick.
Let's go.
Samuel.
All right, hello and welcome to the Hobbit Hotline. Who do we have with us?
What's up, Lane and Ez? This is Sam Oldenhauer calling from Georgetown, Kentucky.
Oh my God!
He's been motherland of Ezra Kirk.
He's been tearing it up in the chat, by the way. Right? Wait, are you in here tonight, or is that Seth? Who's in here? Seth?
Yes.
Both of you in here?
Right,
okay.
Yes. You and your brother have a Lord of the Rings podcast as well, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
That's right. You called in early on, episode Hobbit Hotline 2 or 1?
I think it was maybe 3. I don't know, it was pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah.
3. It was early on. Yes.
Still, yeah. I came in with some hot takes, and I think
right,
maybe helped you turn to the dark side, though.
Dude, I think you had an influence on me, Sam. You devil.
Son.
So what's going on?
Oh my God.
What did you think about? Oh, and yes, it was you and Andrew's conversation, which I applauded, because I feel like two different perspectives, two different ideas on the show, and having a conversation that is cordial and friendly and full of friendship. So, hats off to you on that, man. That's both of you. That's what it's all about.
And do you and Seth agree on your? I'm trying to pick up on this here in the chat. What's going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. We agree on just about everything. I think he is very, very negative about the show. He would be. I told him, was like, you need to call in, man. He's like, if you don't got nothing nice to say. Don't say nothing at all.
Wow, heard that before.
Come on, call it. I need some company, Seth. Call in.
Seth, call in
Give
here.
me
I
some
swear.
company.
Yeah.
Get your butt in here.
But, yeah, we both are just. I mean, we grew up on Tolkien, like I've mentioned, and it was just always our safe place. It was our thing that we went to all the time. We listened to the books while playing mini hockey in the basement for hours on end together. And like, it was just something we did for the fun of it. You know, we watched the PJ movies over and over and over. And both of our wives, like, live in 2 different states now, but both of our wives know, like, you know, if we're sick, if we're tired, if we're down, like, we're gonna put on Lord of the Rings, and they're just gonna have to deal with it. But so for us, it's a very special thing, and we were very excited about this adaptation. But then as things were coming out, and they're changing things, making more, you know, Amazon characters than actual Tolkien characters, and then just seeing how the show has progressed, it was just really a letdown. And at the very least, we were hoping for something entertaining. Okay, we can throw aside the lore, we can throw aside the fact that they're not going to actually have, you know, an accurate representation. But it just, personally, it was not entertaining, and not entertaining enough. Like I haven't had any desire to go back and watch any of the episodes again, except for this last one. I went back because I wanted to show my wife, you know, the scene between Galadriel and Halbrand / Sauron. But then even as I rewatched it, I was like, that was actually kind of lame, because I was intrigued the first time, but then watching it again, I was like, that's. I don't know why I was so intrigued the first time. so you're
burdened by.
It's been a disappointment.
Yeah, no, so you're burdened by the knowledge of Tolkien, right? I mean, that's like, I kind of feel like that's what happened when I watched Tolkien Untangled's take on what a second age show could look like. I felt like burdened. I was like, dang it, now I have this knowledge, which I swore I was going to stay ignorant of, and it's ruined everything for me. So I want to ask you this. First of all, how close are you and Seth in age? Are you guys pretty close?
Yeah, we're fairly close. So I'm the youngest of 4. It's Sarah, Seth, Steven, and Sam. My parents were very smart doing that. But
with the S's.
He's the oldest brother, so he's about 5 years older than I am.
Okay, cool. I love hearing like siblings. Obviously, I have 4 kids. I love hearing about siblings friendships that are really, really close and that they last through the ages. So, what I guess this is what I would ask you. You know, they've come out now, and it feels like it's kind of damage control. Oh no, wait! I want to ask something else first. Do you feel like their presentation of what the show was going to be changed? Like, meaning from 4 years ago to what it was to like in July and August.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I remember like hearing for the first time that they had, you know, taken the rights and they bought the rights. They were planning to do this. Like I remember like seeing a Facebook post and tagging all my family in it and stuff. Like this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna watch this together, and just being pumped for it. But then it just took so long, and you almost kind of forget about it. And honestly, I remembered it again because I started listening to you guys, and you guys were doing your investigating, and I was like, okay, I'm getting pumped for this again. Like this is great. And then early, you know, just a couple months before they released the show, they started changing things, like kind of put it out there that things were changing, and then just some of the press release that they did, and it's just like it seems like they switched from, you know, their early shots of like, you know, it all begins with a map and trying to make it like you know, posting things on Tolkien's birthday and stuff like that. And then now it just seems like he's not even like he's not mentioned in any of their social media posts or anything. It doesn't seem like they're trying to do any justice towards him at all. Because they're making up their own new thing.
Yeah. So my biggest problem has been like trying to figure out when that shifted, how it shifted, why it shifted. And I guess it doesn't even really matter at this point. But it seemed like we talked about it for months on end. It's like you said, posting things on Tolkien's birthday, posting things that were, you know, like quotes of Tolkien's that seemed anyway like they were knowledgeable about, at least from my perspective, way more knowledgeable than I was, like far more knowledgeable than I was, which always gives me like hope and excitement, right? And because I think about the Jackson films, they were fans and they hired fans and they hired experts, like they hired these people who knew the world. I'm watching the appendices in the background right now. They were talking about how on set, and this is gonna sound like an old guy, dude, for sure, 100%. But like the actors would walk around with copies of the Lord of the Rings They would walk around, and it was Ian McKellen who went to Sean Astin and said, "Now remember, they're going to look when they were in Rivendell. They're going to look for you to grab Frodo's hand.
Yeah.
So make sure that you do that because fans." And it was that suggestion that made that moment where you see it. Like I remember watching it in the theater, being like, "Wow, that's incredible." I didn't even realize what I was seeing, and then reading the books and being like, "Oh my gosh, that's straight from the words." And the way that I don't know, the way that connects seamlessly as a fan, it's thrilling, right? Because you can deal with some things that are liberties, right? But like the more they appeal to the words of the author, it just feels so much more lived. It feels so much more adapted, and I feel like that's been kind of missing. And so, anyway, all that to say, I've been really perplexed by this whole overemphasis on Tolkien, and I saw a clip recently of one of the showrunners saying "back to the book, back to the book, back to the book," and I'm like, at what point did they go back to the book? Like it wasn't to say, "Hey, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, we're going to change this," because that's kind of like what it's felt like in a certain sense. So I guess all that to say, what could they do in season 2? Because they've come out with this
to bring you back,
article,
baby. Sorry.
To bring you back, because they've come out. No, that's exactly what I'm going to ask us.
Okay.
Because they've come out with this article saying season 2 is going to be canonical. It's going to be what people were hoping for in season 1, which to me just seems like the dumbest thing you could possibly say. Like at least for people who are actually fans prior, like it just doesn't seem like a smart play because it's self-admission. It's admitting guilt. It's like, yeah, we didn't do anything canonical first season. We didn't play to you guys at the beginning, but we're coming back for you. Don't worry. We don't want to lose you. So we're going to change some things up to try and get you back. What would they have to do to get you excited for this show again? Other than like making Galadriel wake up from a dream. Someone messaged me that. It was like, hey, the only thing that can change me now is Galadriel. I got to remember the person's name. I can't. But they said if Galadriel, season 2 opened with Galadriel looking out of her mirror and Celeborn saying, "What did you see, dear?" And she says, "I saw what would have happened if I would have given into vengeance with Sauron." And I was like, "Oh shoot, that's like awesome." So what would win you back, I guess?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty hard at this point just because they've laid such a foundation that unless they just completely scrap, I wouldn't be very intrigued in some of the story arcs. But I think, first of all, like Celeborn has to be a part of it for season 2, and I don't want to hear any excuses about how they pushed away. But I mean, Galadriel's character has to change drastically for me to be interested, because if they're gonna ride that ship, ride Galadriel as main character, and you know this vengeance tour that she's on, she can't do that with Celeborn in the same way. Like what we see in the text. Now they are apart from each other for a very long time. We see that happen, you know, throughout the Silmarillion as well. But at the same time, like they are still married. They still have a relationship. I want to see what that's like. I want to see their daughter. I want to see, you know, just the actual lore that Tolkien had created, the genealogies for some of those elves. Because I think they just kind of gloss over the importance of family in that, which is weird because they emphasize it so much with Durin and Disa, which is great. I mean, if there's anything good about this show, I loved Durin, and even though Disa is a made-up character, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kids. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I could get around that, but it seems like they're emphasizing family in places where, like, Tolkien didn't do, and I'm just curious as to why. Why do you change his character and focus on family for something else? And
I mean, it's definitely been
it's an interesting paradox.
It's definitely been a theme too, or at least a trait that we've seen, right, of overemphasizing characters they've created versus characters that are true to like Tolkien's lore, right? Which is just sort of, I mean, I guess I understand. It just reeks of like them wanting to, I don't know, get praise for something they created instead, which just is strange to me. I don't know, but I think those are all fair points. So what would they? I don't know. So they'd have to drastically change Galadriel for this. I mean, I even honestly feel like, as a fan, she's got to have some kind of other dimension to her, especially after this, to remain any kind of like. I loved her at first. And I know that we talked after the first couple seasons or first couple episodes, and And I think you were one of the first people who called in and was brave enough to call in and say, like, I'm not agreeing with you guys at all. I remember this. But like, I had kind of liked her at the beginning, but she hasn't changed at all. It's been the same kind of, almost like she's been the architect of Mordor herself. Like, her decisions she's made have almost shaped Halbrand / Sauron. And it's so interesting to me that we can like put her as a hero when I don't know many good things that she's done.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that just isn't the character that at least I got when, reading through the Silmarillion and even seeing Galadriel in Lord of the Rings. I think they really emphasize and they're trying to capitalize on that temptation that she had in Lothlorien with Frodo.
Right,
and just taking everything that Galadriel is right now and shoving it in what we saw for that 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to do that to an extent. Like, I think power is incredibly tempting, right?
Yeah.
It's addictive. It's like, okay, yeah, we see what it does to people and in reality, and I get that, but I don't know, she just kind of steamrolls characters across the entire show, and we're supposed to like her. I don't get that. She's supposed to be wise, and yet she's so reckless, and yet, well, she's a young elf, but yet she's still thousands of years old. Like, and somehow she has this level of esteem with everybody else who sees her in the show, and yet she hasn't gained that from anything that we've seen, because everything she's done has been incredibly reckless. And so, I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of contradictions with her character that I'm like, we could have avoided a lot of this. But
Samuel, let me just real quickly point out. I'm sure people. I'm sure. I want the full name. I just want to say now, you and Seth. All right, I want to know: have you guys been watching again the Gospel of Payne and McKay? They are laying down to you guys. This is what happened. Okay, so I mean, we all got to take our medicine, right? I don't know who they conferred with, but this is how these things were formed. There was a veil in front of us, right, and over our eyes. We now can see clearly. Okay, so I know it sucks, and I know it's tough to swallow, but they're laying it out here, and this is the truth. My favorite thing to do with Lane sometimes was like, did you know Waldrig? Did you know Waldrig turned the key? No, no, you didn't. Neither did Tolkien.
They'll text me all the time and be like, Lane, you knew this, but did you know?
Yeah.
My favorite quote from them actually has been that it was in the. Have you found it fascinating too how many articles they've had like released in the past like 3 or 4 weeks? Payne and McKay. They had one where they were answering fan criticisms, and the first 3 were absolute like softballs. They weren't even real. They were like jokey. It was like, why are the elves' hair short? Like, it wasn't even a real thing. Like, it was just kind of a popular one, or like maybe a common one. But one of their answers was, oh, why is Galadriel in Numenor? And they were like, well, Tolkien didn't say she didn't go to Numenor.
Yeah, buddy.
Dang, that's
yeah,
dangerous.
Guys.
That's like, well, yeah. Also, you didn't hear Galadriel's stance on nuclear weapons in the war in
dang straight
Belagir, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say that's a dangerous road to go down, because then you're saying literally, well, we can take any liberties that Tolkien didn't mention, and that's kind of going in contradiction to what they said with the whole pillars. Like, we're going to keep these pillars in place, and we're going to work around them. And so that was kind of
well, hey, what's wild? Sorry to jump in, but like, so Mike, when he was talking about how they've been working with different people from the estate, and how that maybe is some of that bit getting there. That's shocking. You know, because I agree with everybody in terms of like, I do think there are things that they are obviously inspired by, and they're pulling these characters. I mean, they didn't just make up the character, you know, like they've made up a lot of characters. Sorry, people are like, hold on a second there, as they have made up a whole lot of characters. but some of them, your main pillars, like, yeah, we know them from the trilogy and different stuff like that. But it is crazy to think that they did have a lot of experts in people in on this. And then the other big thing is, I do wonder, because I know we lay a lot of this at their feet. I saw an article talking about studio, and actually Lottie was on this podcast talking with one of the screenwriters, or a screenwriter who talks a lot about studio interference and just what they might have got themselves into, and I don't know if any of that's true. We'll never probably know. No one ever talks about really who said what behind scenes or whatever. But it's crazy to think that it's been such a different story.
Okay, so I have a question. Can you look up what year Christopher Tolkien died?
Sure.
Because I can't remember if he died during the rights acquisition to this, because I think if Christopher Tolkien's alive still, and maybe even not, maybe if he's like,
2020,
getting a little
January 16, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
January 16,
they have the rights for it. They started filming the day after he died.
Okay, so there you go. There you go, guys. Like, this is just all coming together now. I know that Simon Tolkien has been very open to, and I think I really kind of I sort of scarred Mike for a second, because I'm like 99% sure that Simon Tolkien was one of the grandsons or great grandsons or whatever who was hanging around at the Hobbit production. And Mike was like, oh, geez. And Simon is one who is very open to adaptation. He's a
serious consultant. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's not as guarded as obviously like Christopher was, or even some of the other, I don't even know all the members of the Tolkien estate, but Christopher was very important. He was Tolkien's editor. He was he the youngest son of Tolkien? I can't remember, but he worked really, really closely with him. With his father's work, finished. His father trusted him to finish and piece together parts of the Silmarillion and stories that were left unfinished. And so, that's all coming together now. That they acquired the rights, but they waited, because it was a really, even with COVID happening, it was a really long build up to the show actually happening. Yeah. So the fact that you said that they waited until he was gone to start filming is making a lot of sense. So the collaboration with the Tolkien estate.
I'm not sure about that. I feel like I remember seeing something.
No, yeah, that I mean, no, that
black arrow.
Yeah, no. I won't shoot you with that arrow. Absolutely, it makes sense to me that would, someone who was the last like guard of the Tolkien estate, like seriously, when he disappears, that they kind of. Because Christopher Tolkien was notorious for, like, he hated the trilogy. He didn't like what Peter Jackson did with the films. Even though you hear Peter Jackson talk and you're like, wow, especially not for the Hobbit so much, but for the trilogy, he was his sole focus was to, and again, listening to the appendices, they talked about several times where they thought about kind of veering away from Tolkien's work or adding stuff in, and every single time they kept themselves accountable by like, now this doesn't work. We got to come back. Come back to the source material. So it's just really interesting how this, I feel like we were sold one thing at the beginning, long story short, I feel like we were sold one thing at the beginning, and we kind of, like right before the show came out, got pitched a different angle. And it seems like it's just been sort of, liberties have been taken.
Hey, you feel like you were lied to, Lane?
I mean, I didn't even know I was being lied to, as that's the thing. Like, I didn't even know until I watched a different interpretation of what could have been. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, you watch that Tolkien Untangled video, that series of videos, and it'll mess you up, man. You'll never see this.
We're gonna do a special episode on that. That's definitely gonna be coming down the line.
I have to protect you at all costs, man. You can't see that.
Yeah, we can't lose
watch that.
Come on, no, that would tear the show in two. I mean, actually, it would just it would solidify us into this dark lord who would, be just raging against the rings of power. I'm kidding.
I made it really dark. I got to come back. So, Sam, have you and Seth been in your podcast? Have you been covering the show? Have you guys been talking about this?
We have a little bit. So we tried, we did one episode off the first two episodes that came, and talked about it. Spent about an hour talking about it, and we just kind of decided and I mean, you can give it a listen if you want and get your own opinions on it, but we just kind of both felt so negative and gross after talking about it. We're like, we don't want to do this. Like, we don't want to just crap on something every week if we don't like it, because there are people out there who love it, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy for them. Like, I personally don't understand it myself, but if you're enjoying it, great. Like, if it introduced you to Tolkien, great. But so we've been taking kind of a segment to be like, hey, if there's anything that stood out to you in the last couple episodes, mention that, but then we just jump into some of the lore. Unfortunately, we've been very, very busy, both of us, and so we haven't been able to do weekly podcasts like we were kind of hoping to when we originally started, but we're diving into Numenor right now and just kind of looking at the history of Numenor, and
That's
this
cool.
next episode will be on all the Numenorian kings and kind of the bloodline of everything, how that looked to, and eventually hopefully get into, you know, how Sauron actually came to Numenor and what he did there too. Because what we found is like there's a whole bunch of religion in Numenor based off of like, I mean, yeah, the faithful they kind of mentioned in the show, but like they were actually like religious ceremonies for Iluvatar, for Eru Iluvatar, and like it just brings a whole different type of interaction that we don't really see in any of like the adaptations of Tolkien's world. There's no like actual religion, and maybe that's I thought that's kind of what they were going to do with the Mystics, like this was going to be like some religious cult, but obviously I think they're gone now. I don't know. But so that's something I'm excited to dive into with Seth a little bit later on, just to kind of get an understanding of, because they did worship Eru, and then Sauron comes along and he pretty much tells them like he feeds them all these lies, and then they end up sacrificing people on his behalf, like actually sacrificing actual men, and then then the fall of Numenor starts happening, but Sauron's standing in the front of the meteor shower and doesn't die, and so everyone starts worshiping Sauron because they're like, oh, he must be a god. And so if all this stuff happens in the show, second season, boom, I'm in. Like, bring it to me. I'm all for it. I'd love to see Halbrand jump back in there, because I thought his acting was decent. I'd love to see that kind of happen again, but some part of me just doesn't believe I'm gonna get that.
So long shot.
Yeah, I love it, and I love that approach too. I like to think that it's something that Ez and I would do as well if like we both were, I mean, I don't know, like just the approach of like if you're not covering it out of respect to people who are having a good time. I think it's admirable. I think a lot of people don't care about people who are having a good time with the show. And that's something we need to consider, because we all get into Middle Earth different ways too. And like, there's no wrong way, man. If you're into Tolkien, I feel like I'm talking about religion, but if you're into Tolkien, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like that's a good thing. Whatever drives you into what he created, because honestly, I feel like it drives you to something even greater. But tell everyone your podcast one more time so that people can go listen to you guys.
Yeah, it's the Well Earned Comforts podcast, based off of that idea of, Merry Pippin sitting on the wall of Isengard after, well earned comforts.
Salted pork is particularly good.
That's right. Yeah. Seth and I both, like, he's a personal trainer as well as a nurse. Like, we both believe in like just pushing ourselves physically and earning any kind of comforts that we get, whether it's in life or responsibility. So it's just kind of tied in that way too, where, whether it's physically training, my wife and I are training for a half marathon right now, and or if it's just spiritually training, being a better husband, father for him. I don't have kids yet, but he's got a little girl. Just whatever we do, these comforts that we get, they're well earned. It's nothing that we just
that's cool, man.
For. So it's just kind of
Hey, let me just say real quick. First of all, I've had it on the screen for a while. I've had well-earned comforts up here. So folks who want to, if you're listening, you want to go check it out. Yeah, go. I've got it up here for you guys. And also, just as when you first popped on, I wanted to follow you guys over on Twitter. And Seth is killing it. The world. Let's see. The world that's teaching the world that strength is for everyone. Let's go, baby.
Yes. Sir. Yes.
Hey, you know what? Hey, hold on. I read a review about Seth, and I heard there were a couple of shills for Amazon.
Couple of shills. Oh man, he's nailed.
Isn't it awesome when you podcast and you hear some of the things that people write about you, and it's just like, oh my gosh, what in the world?
Dude, we should leave a review on their podcast. Yeah, I heard Seth's a major shill for this show. Just get him raging out, get him fired up to go in there and work out in the morning. You know what I mean? He's like, that's it. That's it. Another set.
I love it.
Dude, that's awesome. I think maybe in the future, maybe we need to have a collab or something. That'd be kind of cool. Do like a crossover episode.
We'd absolutely love it. Yeah,
that'd be cool, man.
We're just some humble hobbits like you all, and definitely just doing it for the fun of it. I mean, like I mentioned before too, it's just an opportunity for Seth and I to get together and talk. We both moved away from our families a year and a half ago, and he's in Michigan, I'm in Kentucky. Like, we both moved here not knowing anybody, so it's just our way of connecting with one another and staying close and prioritizing family. So, but I'm jump off here. My wife is sleeping in the other room, and I'm ready to.
There you go. Get in there.
Here, I probably kept you guys up late too. So.
All right, brother.
I appreciate all you guys
man.
do. Absolutely. Been praying for Vigo as well. Hope he's doing all right.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. He is.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
You guys have a wonderful night.
You too. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Sam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sam
wow.
Wise. Talking to Sam Wise.
Wise. Yeah, absolutely. Dude,
Man.
that was great. And I'm so glad he did call in early on, because I was like, and I've been featuring a lot of what they say in the chat over on just the YouTube too, because it's good stuff. I mean, it's really, I think it's I think like you said, so I almost made the joke that, like, we were talking about, like, well, it's Tolkien. We're all getting back into Tolkien. It's sort of like, the Baptist church has so many denominations. They all get along, sort of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Somehow they all get along. Some of them believe in church on Saturday. Some are washing feet this day or that day. You know what I mean? So,
dude, I mean, you think about the United States of America. How do we exist?
I have no idea.
There are so many different viewpoints. I mean, you could even take a global approach and think about how in the world do we not like destroy each other? You think about like the modern day, like there's so many things going on, so much hatred, and like a lot of times people do destroy each other, but like the globe is still around, like the human race is still here. And anyway, yeah, no, I think about those conversations that Andrew and Sam, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, right? That they've been having in that chat.
Yeah.
And I saw it watching our videos back on repeat, and it's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to disagree and not lose the aspect of kindness and respect. I mean, like, it is, whether you're enjoying the show or not enjoying the show and all the different degrees in between, like, we're all fans of this thing. Otherwise we wouldn't be watching. So we got to take care of each other. Like, we got to be kind to each other, and people are doing that, at least within our friends group. And
right.
It just makes me feel really encouraged, man. Big time.
No, it is. Somebody said that in our Facebook group the other day. They're like, I'm really happy that this is a place where, you're not going to get blasted, because that was I remember at the beginning, like, we were like, look, if you are a fan of this and you like this, don't be afraid to say that. We said that from the get-go. We also then went on to sort of say, hey, you're not going to be put in some category just because you don't like the show. And we're not going to start calling people names and stuff because they don't like it. It's crazy.
You're such a lane.
You're such a lane.
Freaking lane,
hey,
dude.
We got late caller coming in here. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go.
Brian Higgins.
Oh, let's go.
Press 1 to send.
Okay, I heard the name, and it's spoiler alert. This is Brian Higgins,
Woo!
right?
Yeah, that's right, man. How's it going?
Brian, dude, I can't believe dude, but this is for you, man. I don't know if you noticed that, but that 11 o'clock extension was for you, brother. Now listen,
Yeah,
I gotta say something. First of all, I gotta thank you, because we've never talked in person. We've only communicated via Messenger. Thank you so much for all those years ago sending us that Gondorian flag, that American flag that you flew in a Warthog on a mission. And anytime you see the Gondorian flag flying in the Shire, it's that flag. And then also, I wanted to ask you that American flag, can I unfold that and fly that in my house? Is that like, I don't know, protocol?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I was gonna message you around the 4th, and I couldn't find the flag. I had it buried in a box in the garage, and I found it like this past weekend. And I'm like, man, I got to get that thing up and flying to honor what Brian did for us. So, dude, welcome to the show, man. Brian's been around a long time. An amazing man. Go check him out. And the only thing wrong with him is he's a Yankees fan. And I can't believe I'm going to ask you this. What happened in the game, dude? Is it Guardians or Yankees?
Well, tonight they rained out.
Oh, they didn't play? They didn't end up playing?
No, they didn't play.
Oh my gosh, the drama is.
Weather.
Oh, the drama's postponed. Oh my gosh, because that's my team going against your team, dog.
I know. It's big. You guys are playing great, and we are playing with no life.
I mean, I'll take it. Anytime the Yankees play with no life, I'm a little bit giddy. It's pretty exciting for me. But I love you, dude. Okay,
yeah,
so
I mean,
what?
I mean, whoever. I guess they transferred all that life from New York Giants, but neither here nor there.
Yeah,
dude. What have you thought of the show? Tell us all your thoughts. We want to hear it all.
Yeah. So I've been listening to all these. because I've been watching the show every week. Whenever my wife isn't really around, she's not really into it. She watches the movie. She likes the movie, but I try to get her on the show. And she's like, too many names, jumping around too much. I'm like, okay, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been watching it whenever. And first of all, holy crap! I mean, I'm actually on the show. This is crazy. Like you said, I've been around for forever. Like,
yeah.
I mentioned this a long time ago, and you read my story. But man, you guys did a lot for me when I was, by myself for a year in Korea, and I had no idea what a podcast was. I'm literally in the gym for the first time. Got nobody, still jet lagged beyond belief. And I'm like in the sauna afterwards. I'm like scrolling podcasts. I don't know what podcast is. So like, all right, I guess I'm reading Lord of the Rings again. I'll see what they got here. And honestly, like, don't change your logo ever, because it was your logo that dropped me in. It's like, this is a really cool logo. I'll try this. And like, you had just started the book too. Like,
my gosh,
dang,
like way back. So I'm like, this is perfect. And been listening ever since, guys. I mean, this is just really weird
Brian,
for me to actually like talking to you guys.
Dude, this is amazing. And speaking of looks, like not to poo-poo on our logo, but go check Brian out. The dude's a physical specimen.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to know what a man of Numenor looks like,
right,
it's Brian Higgins, fellas and ladies. Let me tell you, he is like the fact that he was listening to us in the sauna after the gym does not surprise me.
Yeah, watch out
whatsoever.
Right.
Like we need to get you on season 2, bro, for sure. I don't know how it would probably interfere with stuff in your personal life, or professional life too. But yes. Okay, so early. I mean, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that you had listened to this that early on. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Summer of 2018? When did you guys actually start?
Yeah, like January 18th. Yeah, so really, that's really early on.
Yeah, I was a little late to the party there, but still. Like, it was just like two buddies catching up, and I was like, these are my kind of guys.
Dude,
that's awesome.
That's
man.
wild.
That's awesome.
So it's really kind of surreal to be talking to you guys. I think I actually went to Columbus, Ohio, a couple years back. It was just like one night. Like maybe I'll rent a car and drive over, but it was maybe a bridge too far. I should have done it though. But here we are talking. So yeah, the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been listening to everybody, pretty much sharing everyone's thoughts. Like, there's obviously things I love and things I'm not too happy with. Like, I guess I'll start with the things I haven't been too happy with. I guess the pacing is it's off. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just off, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just a little bit off. Obviously, like, I'm not a lore master whatsoever. I don't know. You know, I tried the Silmarillion once, like we all did. And,
right.
Bless us. Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have done that as an 8th grader. But yeah. So I don't know all that stuff. I mean, but I do know like things like, okay, I know Gandalf didn't show up till the 3rd age. So
yeah.
Sorry, Ez. If it does end up being Gandalf, I'll be a little disappointed.
That's all right. Yep, I hear it. I hear you.
Ez will still be excited. It's okay. Yeah.
I mean, the writing's kind of on the wall for that. But hey, I mean, maybe they bring him back. Maybe they do like a 1-for-1 swap with Celeborn, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They could do that.
They could make it happen.
They didn't.
Right. Yeah. Tolkien didn't say that didn't happen. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's go down that line of thought. Oh my God. Anything's possible. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean, so little stuff like that. But overall, I'm like, you know, like we've all kind of come to terms to love it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's still more Tolkien I get to watch. It's still a show that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Which is kind of few and far between nowadays.
Yeah.
Like even like good shows, like sorry, Ez again. I've been kind of watching Andor, and I think I missed a couple episodes, but I'm still struggling to get through that one.
Really?
I understand it's good.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I do. I understand. Yeah. I understand it's good. Like the quality of it, like everything about it is just screams Rogue One quality, which is top tier.
That is top tier.
Just like I'm like maybe I just need to watch it all the way through, but not with Rings of Power. Like I'm all in. So
yeah.
So I'm psyched for season 2. I think they laid some great foundation. So the stuff I do love, like obviously the cinematography, the design, what is involved. So that's always awesome. Question about the design, because they seem to kind of at first they're like, we're not related to the trilogy whatsoever. It is something new, but okay, the Balrog is identical.
Right. Okay. So Brian,
we all saw
keep going.
Narsil.
Yes.
And there's another one. Like stuff's identical for the trilogy.
Well, even Sauron looks really
Yeah,
similar. Like I've seen someone do a like they highlighted the shadows of that one shot that we got of him in the prologue, and even like the detailing on his like the helmet is different. There's more spikes and stuff, but the detailing on the mask on the helmet is very, very similar. So that was something that I think I brought this up maybe last week, 2 weeks ago or something. I was like, I'm confused on how much involvement. Like, it's so weird that Weta has been. If you go on social media, look at Instagram, Weta has been posting about the show. They've been saying we're thrilled and honored to have been involved in producing swords and armor and pieces for the show. But I haven't seen Amazon post about Weta one time. It's the weirdest thing. No. Like it goes with the whole like the whole knowledge or whatever, or the approach of the showrunners. It's very like, I'm confused. I'm confused about the rights. I'm confused about the words of the showrunners, and I'm confused about like the involvement of Weta. I don't know if it was something that was cobbled together, or if it was something that like they knew wouldn't last past season 1, because now they've moved production to the UK. So I'm like, they're gonna have to rebuild everything. Like it's a totally different infrastructure. But you think that you would highlight something like that? You would be proud of the fact that, and then it even goes to the whole thing of it. They contacted Peter Jackson at first, and then they were like, apparently ghosted him, or didn't contact him, or weren't allowed to contact him. So I'm with you on that. I don't understand exactly what's going on there, but you're right. Narsil, yeah,
identical. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm like, okay, these are kind of like either these are cool Easter eggs, or these are like breadcrumbs to like, maybe season, how many they do in 5? Like,
5 seasons.
We see Elendil suited up in the full suit of armor we see in the prologue, and that would blow people's minds.
Yeah.
Like, I would love for them to do that, but yeah, they're moving to England. That's kind of for UK. That'd be interesting. Other stuff I'm loving is, I mean, everyone's talked about Elrond and Durin. That's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the best dialogue I think I had, I like wrote it down. I was like, I need to talk about this. It was, I think Elrond is talking about his father, and it was like this great piece of exposition about Elendil, becoming the star, and but it wasn't just exposition to be exposition. It was like a friend comforting a friend.
Yeah.
Also, so it was like this 3-corded rope of exposition, character development, and a relationship development. I was like, wow, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That was like, sold me on that one.
Right.
And then, and then pretty much everything else everyone's been liking. I have. I was okay with Elendil and Isildur having some tension, because he's basically a teenager. Like, what teenager isn't like resentful of his father?
Right. True. Yeah.
What father isn't like, why aren't you more like me? And the guy's already lost a son and a wife, which we all find out about, and then they have to. Then they build to that moment. So, it's 5 seasons. We got a long time. If all the characters are likable from the beginning, like, that's not very fun for anybody.
Right. That's true.
So it's good to see some development. Even Galadriel become more and more likable. I think. I agree with the criticism at the beginning. Like, I think she could have grown in other ways, so we didn't have to deal with so many people's favorite character being kind of unlikable at the beginning. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm absolutely stoked for season 2 for sure. I think they're gonna probably. My theory is that they're gonna go and kind of step away from elves for a little bit and focus on the dwarves and the forging of their rings in season 2.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. You got to bounce around and hit those rings of power, right? Yeah. You've got to sort of. This is about we've seen the 3, so have them go work on other ones, and people, they want their own. That's okay. Yeah.
So you said that you like Durin and Elrond's relationship. Do you have a favorite character so far in this show, Brian?
Yeah, favorite character. I think it's probably Elrond. I think the guy who plays him, he doesn't. Yeah, he looks like Neil Patrick Harris. That's fine. He doesn't look like what's his name?
Dude, I've heard people call him Doogie Elrond, like because he looks like Doogie Howser. But yes, okay. Wow.
I think he's doing a great job. Like, I think he's like kind of. I don't think they mean for him to be like the audience, but I think he's kind of like the tissue between most of the other characters. I think he's kind of the only character who interacts with almost everybody. I could be wrong on that one, but that's kind of how I've seen him. And he's kind of like this level-headed guy with a lot of, empathy for everyone else around him. It's like, okay, I see what they're doing. Yeah. So I like him a lot.
We definitely get that relatability from him, and that wisdom comes through, right? That we can see that developing into wisdom later on. That he's not rash with the dwarves. He's not. He understands Galadriel. He also tries to understand Gil-galad. Yeah, you're right. He's kind of this middleman who's relating the story to us. I didn't think about it that way, but it's totally true. Yeah, and I said early on, I was thrown off at first at how he looked, because he looked so different from, like he talked about. Some of the stuff looks spot on from the film trilogy, and some stuff looks totally different. And Elrond is one of those cases that Robert Aramayo looks kind of different from Hugo Weaving, obviously. And then even just early on, they had talked about, like, we want it to fit in. I swear we talked about this. Maybe not. Maybe I'm having Mandela effect on our own on our own episodes. But I swear we talked about them coming out and saying we want it to fit in perfectly to the trilogy. That was one of the pitches we got early on that got us all excited. But he has made me like have to stop and think and go, oh yeah, Hugo Weaving also plays Elrond. Like, that's how much I have loved his version of Elrond. I mean, I know that some people haven't liked it, but I'm with you on that. Like, I've really liked Elrond, someone who I can watch and go, all right, I'm in. It would take someone else pointing something out for me to go, okay, I don't know about that. Like, my gut is to trust that interpretation of that character. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, and I would love to listen to everyone else talk about this. And, like, I mean, because we all have so much, we bring so much to Tolkien besides what he brings to it already. So we bring ourselves, and it's really cool to listen to other people and how they're viewing this stuff. Obviously, like the home runs, like Durin and Elrond, and Durin and his wife's relationship that was awesome. I wish we got more of that.
Yeah.
I think that's going down a dark road, but that'll be fun to watch.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely going down. Like, this kingdom is going to be ours or yours someday. Yeah, it's going to be dark real quick. But
and I guess just real quick, because one of the things that we were talking about is like we were talking just with Sam there about, is it a Tolkien show, or is it just, he was even saying once he got to the point where he was like, I'm not so sure about this, but he was like, is it entertaining? Is there something about it that could keep him entertained? I feel like, that's if the Tolkien bits aren't going to get it for you, then maybe there is something if they can tell a more compelling. I thought it was compelling, but for other people, a more compelling story with Disa and Durin down that line. That I think there's a hook at least there, and you're intrigued. You're like, all right, what's going to happen with them? The Balrogs woke up or something, or maybe they're going to drop a few more leaves on him. I don't know, but I mean, he went back to sleep for a second, but anyway, people are going to be following that. Yeah,
that would make me happy. Hey, Annalise made a great point on around the fire on Friday. She was like, they have to mine the mithril first.
They got to get it.
Right. I'm like, like, Annalise's lore knowledge is crazy. She was like, they got to get this stuff first, because I mean those links on Frodo's, unless we just throw that out the window, those links on Bilbo and Frodo's mail has to come from somewhere. So we can't see him make carnage yet, but like it is such a big part of the Fellowship of the Ring, like going to Moria, seeing it in ruin, and then being confronted by the Balrog at the end. That it is cool to see kind of where that's going to go. The downfall of Moria, it will be huge. Yeah.
I mean, they've done something like that before. I mean, the end of the first Hobbit movie, like, Smaug opens his eyes, like he wakes up. Like, ooh, he's awake, but not really. I mean, you're still
right. Yeah.
Maybe it's true. Kind of this, remember what's down here. Remember what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dang.
Yeah.
Ryan, this is golden stuff, man.
That's good. Hey, just real quick, while we're on the Balrog, if you guys don't mind, everyone's talking in the chat as to whether or not they can talk. Megan brought this up and was talking about how, and Corey's going back and forth. This is one of the elements of the Hobbit Hotline I've loved is people on here talking about just whether or not they spoke, or is there something nonverbal going on, or what the whole deal. I thought it was kind of funny, and I thought it's interesting to think about them talking, because they're kind of those Maiar level beings that were corrupted and turned by Morgoth, and so they're intelligent. They're not just these big bad monsters. I just thought it was sort of funny if we heard one of them start speaking. I don't like,
yeah, I think, and like some crazy voice actor from left field, like I guess they just got him for the Mario movie, but Jack Black, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. Oh my!
I was just gonna say, who would you cast as the Belrog? Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Cool, okay.
Belrog, yeah, it's gotta be Jack Black.
Right.
How cool would Jack Black be as Tom Bombadil, Brian?
I just thought of it because he's musical. He's so musical, and he's
so.
Yeah. No.
Have you seen pictures of him? Have you seen his look lately too? He's got this big long beard. I think maybe he's driving for. I mean, maybe he's going to overtake my Post Malone bid for Tom Bombadil in the show.
Yeah,
I mean, it could happen.
Might be it. I think we got something.
Anything's possible.
I think we could go for some more like fantastical stuff. Like this is second age. Like there's some crazy stuff in the like. I was like, about the ward design. There's a little CGI, but I thought the design was awesome. Like
I kind of liked it too. Yeah, I mean that was sort of my thing. I mean, I don't know if you heard this part, but I was predicting to Ez, I'm like that crazy ocean monster we're gonna see, that's gonna actually be Elmo. Like I was thinking that I thought that we would see some more of this, like, so that was kind of cool in that respect. It was kind of cool to see that whole like elf and Balrog fight, like causing the Mithril. I want more of that like epic stuff. Like this is the age to do it in. Like in the third age, it's all kind of more close to our modern time, where like things have been forgotten, and the Valar are sort of like distant memories in a certain sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and this is the time to really explore that. And I feel like they've done it at times, but I want them to, like you said, to go crazy, like really just show us.
Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah,
show us some Entwives, and I don't know, maybe to my time.
Dude, where were they?
We saw the Entwives and the Entings. We just gotta hear them, man. We gotta like have some scenes with them, dude.
Yeah.
Why did that drop off?
The whole show could have been the Ents and the Entwives.
I mean, first
Brian,
of all,
I gotta pitch something. Yeah, okay, go ahead, Ez.
No, that's wild. I just sitting here thinking, did we see that? Do we ever? I don't even know. Yeah, why wasn't there more of that? Sorry, that's all. I'm just sort of.
It was just that little clip.
Yeah, like it's just like this crazy fantastical age of like there's I don't know these stuff, but I feel like there's way more dragons in the second age too. Like that was another gripe. It kind of felt like this Middle Earth was a bit empty. That our main characters kind of walked around.
Too human almost. Ez asked, I think he asked in the chat a couple weeks ago, like, will we see Smaug?
Yeah, with Smaug, yeah. He's like, only mentioned in the third age, but I mean, if Gandalf can show up in the second age, then I mean, why not? So
okay, not to kind of play off that whole epic thing and go to minuscule, but Brian, would you watch an adaptation that Ez and I create about the Four Farthings and the history of the Shire? Just a melodrama set in the midst of Hobbiton that explores, the intricacies of the hobbits. Would you watch something like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, see, if Brian's in, Ez, I think we can make a legit pitch. What if we do this,
dude? Well, I mean, yeah.
With Brian's endorsement, let's go forward.
I'm down. We got a camera. Okay. We have director. We know people. Let's do it.
That much weight. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm down.
We're gonna get Brian to guest star as a Númenórean though, like a ranger who comes in and like oversees the hobbits without them knowing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
100%.
You just made 12-year-old Brian's life right there.
Let's go.
Oh man. I mean, I seriously kind of going back to like when I first started listening. I think Lane, it was like your story in middle school, and like, all we had were these movies. Like middle school was a rough time. Like, I think we're like the same exact age, right? Like 6th grade, the first movie came out, right?
Yeah, I was 7th grade, so yeah, we're the same age. Yeah, I mean, essentially.
Yeah, so like those movies were like, I had friends in elementary school, and then big middle school. I moved, like I had nobody, but I had those movies, and then I had the books. And so like, dude,
that's
just nerd.
That's almost the same journey. I was telling I can't remember if I told Ez or who I was telling, but when I saw these movies as a teenager, they were my friends, right? And the reason the show has been so fun is to experience it with friends I've made, and so that's what's keeping me going with the show. Is not even, the show has been great. Like you said, there's a lot of good things to take. There's some things that when you start digging a little deeper, you go, that's not quite, or that could be better, or that's not quite right, or why did they change this? I don't understand. It was gold. It's like literally going from gold to copper or something. I don't know. But the thing that keeps me going is these friendships and that have been formed because of this story.
Mm-hmm.
And they were my friends in middle school. And now this show is great because of my friends. And that's, I'll take that as a win for sure. So, dude, I can't thank you enough for calling in, bro. I mean, this has been.
Dude, hearing your voice is surreal. I'm like,
oh, it's amazing. We've messaged like so many times throughout the day. I'm literally looking at the American flag folded up right now. I haven't unfolded it since you sent it all those years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And as soon as I can, I'm gonna fly that thing on the flagpole in Amanda. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. It feels like a lifetime ago. Man, like a lot has changed since then.
Oh, dude, and your letter was handwritten. I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I still have your letter sent to us. And I
didn't have a printer in my dorm room.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean that was so moving to read. Just that those flags had literally been. I think the way you phrased it was they had been flown on the backs of an eagle, and it was.
Yeah. Wow.
That was really cool. I mean, it's just amazing. Like that kind of stuff when we do this and we're up late at night in our humble little place in Ohio, and we get messages like yours. It makes these stories look real, right? I mean, it makes these stories come to life in a way that they didn't before. And these friendships that form over distance and time, and even meeting in person. Like, and we had never heard your voice until tonight.
Yeah, that's huge, dude. I love it. It's the best part. It's the best part about this stuff.
It is the best part. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always been kind of a lurker, and I felt.
No,
I'm a
hey, you're keeping an eye out for us.
Strider.
He's keeping it. Yeah,
that's right. You're one of the bounders. Keeping watch.
I've been listening to the hotlines. I'm like, I got to call in. Like, this is my chance. I need to talk. Let's talk.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, just an encouragement to you guys. You just, I know you know this because there's countless stories better than mine. But your voices, just two best friends chatting up about books and movies that they love, like it can really help some people in some dark times, which is exactly what it did for me. Like I alone for a year basically, and all,
yeah.
And I found you guys, and it was quite a comfort. That's why I did what I did, and I hope others people can, will share their experiences too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
much love to you, brother. I mean, I can't that's one of the most honoring things I can imagine. I mean, if that's written on my tombstone, I'll be a lucky man. So
yeah, man.
Thank you, dude. Thank you for calling in too. Like this, I'm glad you reached out and said, "Hey, can you keep it open a little longer?" Because that was
it's a finale. It's like the perfect way to kind of That
is the best way to end it. With
I just thought about that. Phoenix time, just got my kids to bed. Like, let's see if they can stay awake.
Oh, it's perfect. No, it's good. It's good.
Hell yeah, man. Of course we could for you. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and thank you guys again for everything. So,
yeah. All right. Hey,
Brian, thank you.
Brian,
you, dude. So good
keep in touch, man.
Brother.
Yes.
Yeah. Great talking to you guys and actually being a part of this. This has been really cool for me. And go Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, go Guards! Oh, the end gets in at the end.
Right at the end, baby. Right at the end.
Oh, loves you, brother. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Brian.
We got it.
All right.
Bye.
Man.
Woo, dog. Man.
That is like, that's the ending I needed for this season, dude.
Yeah,
right
no.
there, talking to Brian, thinking about the beginning and even the middle. I mean, he sent us those flags. That was a big deal. I mean, I like legit.
Oh,
how
dude,
often
I know.
Have you seen me fly that Gondorian flag here in the Shire? It's like all the time. And I remember his Tolkien story. I remember him sending his letter in written by hand, and it's moving, dude. It really is. It really is, because it's so funny to think about. We were friends to him in a time where he was, doing what he was supposed to do, but lonely.
Yeah.
And how his words and his gifts to us have kept us going. Like things like that are the only things that keep us going, guys. Like our love for each other, and then when you guys interact with us and give us that kind of feedback, I mean, it just and you become friends to us. It's surreal. I know it sounds probably really. It probably sounds culty. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard people say that it sounds kind of culty, but it's not. For me, it's like it's.
Oh no!
It's the essence of these stories brought to life.
Yeah. No, man, I'm with you. Like we've had such a good community and good people around us, and just I've always just appreciated the spirit of this group and this podcast. It's been fun. I told Lane we share things on here that I just never shared anywhere else, really. Like, it's just been it's home. You're comfortable, you're relaxed, and I think everybody gets each other and we're respectful, and it's just, again, it's all about inspiring each other and having a good time and moving forward in a positive way and making a good difference in the world and just I mean, enjoying each other's company along the way. I say it all the time, like, we share this time together, and it's just like so cool to do that. So wow. Well,
I love you, buddy.
Hey,
I love you, man. I mean, this has been,
dude, I've had a blast.
Who'd have thought we'd be heroes? I mean, honestly, first of all, who'd have thought that I would like never want to rewatch this first season?
I know.
After talking about it for years, and then like who like I don't know. Like, it's just crazy to think that we're here at the end of this first season. We've got 4 more, which will last the next 14, 15 years at least.
Right.
And we've got stuff in between to talk about. And you know what? Like, the cool thing too is that, like, this show is not us. Like, it's not what defines our book club.
Yeah.
It's there's so much more than that too, and to think about, like, different directions we can take and things we can read and conversations we can have. So
I tell you what, man, I hate to, I don't know. Like, the more of this that you get, the more people you get sort of doing, anybody who has done some, like, whether it be a podcast or like, some other fan group where they've been inspired by Tolkien's work and they've gone out and created something. This show is that, right? These guys are inspired by it. They want to go out and create this on a larger level. And so it's like, all right, cool. Now, I don't like all the different, I don't follow every single, creator page, YouTube thing, whatever, blah, blah, whatever it might be, but teach their own. And that's the thing. You kind of gravitate, you hear about things, you come across people who say, hey man, I got this, or I do this sort of, I'm inspired by Tolkien in this way, and this is the way they express it. And you're like, all right, let's go. It might not be my cup of tea, but we're sitting around, a similar table. We're in the same dining room, and we share that. So it's been cool, man. And I love you too. And it's been a blast. I listen, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but like, I do listen to some of I miss some of the things that happen sometimes on the podcast. It's hilarious, dude. I don't know what's going on, but anyways, just even what people say sometimes, and just, it's been fun to listen back and just chat and have fun with each other. I made that comment in the last episode, where I look back at there, and I'm not even messing with you, dude. It was the Mystics. I just saw your head hung low, man, and you were just shaking it, and I was like, "Oh, dude."
I mean, let's reflect for a minute too how cool it was to have people.
Yes.
And like, not people don't know all the details about like what's going on right now, but it was really, really cool to have a few people kind of at short notice come out to the Shire, come out to the backyard here in Amanda, and like I haven't been around people for so long, like large groups of people that. I had to text you. I literally had to text Ez this week and say, did people have a good time? Was everything was it a good party? Like, I don't even know. And you were like, dude, yes, calm down.
Absolutely.
Everyone had a blast.
Yeah.
It was a great time. It was a great event.
Food, weather, company, backyard, party tree. Gosh.
It kind of gave me vibes, honestly, of LEP1.
Yeah.
It made me think about that small, intimate time we had, where we put out that open invitation. We had 15 people show up.
Right.
LEP1. Then LEP2 was so crazy. Like, we had people from
Australia,
all over the country, Australia, Mel B coming out.
Right.
It was wild.
I know. We even had somebody from Germany at this one. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we was international.
Right? How about that?
Shame.
It is international, right? Mrs. Kirk makes it
thanks,
international. Dude, her takes, man. Like it was so fun hearing her around the fire too. Like the
oh yeah. Thoughts.
Lottie comes from all angles.
Oh man,
all angles. Like she was saying stuff where I was like, "Amen, Lottie, let's go," and she was saying stuff that was on the other side of that too. And
she jumps. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We even what did we talk about lately? Like we were hanging up the screen, and we said, and maybe it's time to start up that old Further Up podcast again.
Oh yeah, we did. And yes.
Four peasantcy kids, right?
Yes.
And there'd be four of us now at this point. It'd be Lane and Ez, Sarah, and Lottie.
Dude, that'd be so much fun. And she's read those. Crazy. She loves those.
They're amazing books. I mean, that'd be so cool. Can you imagine her trying to keep? It'd be the flip flop. Her trying to keep knowledge from you because you're the one who doesn't.
Dude, that'd be wild. Yeah, that would be fun. That would actually be fun.
But anyway, it was really cool to like I truly mean it, guys. When you guys call in, when you have been guests on episode like reflections or reactions or whatever, it has been my favorite part of this whole process. Like you have been the reason that I have like watched these episodes or rewatched these episodes when I wasn't necessarily wanting to, which I even found myself finding weird. Like I was like, man, I can't believe that I'm not, as amped. But it like with everything that you think is a negative, there's always a positive about it too. I mean, I'm sitting here literally like I've got the appendices rolling on a screen in front of me, just with no sound on, and just remembering like how much I love this trilogy. I haven't watched the Two Towers because when my go-to is the Fellowship of the Ring, right?
Yeah,
it's what I watch when I'm feeling low or I'm feeling like I need something. The other day I was like, man, I used to watch Two Towers all the time. It was like my second favorite film. I played it the other day and I had all kinds of feelings and I don't know that I would be doing that if it wasn't for Rings of Power. And so I think whatever the thing is, whatever makes this thing good, whether it drives you back to the trilogy or you're enjoying the hell out of the show. Yeah. Or you're just literally living for the conversation of Tolkien again.
Yeah, true.
That's what it's all, or you're getting driven back into the lore itself. It's all good, man. Like it's all good. And we got each other and we're a fellowship. And so I can't thank everyone who called in, everyone who participated enough. Like it's made honestly a kind of a difficult time for me. Like really enjoyable. So thank you guys so much for everything you've done. All your input, all your criticisms, your happiness, your joy, whatever with the show. It's been wonderful. So
yeah, I agree, man. 100%. Thanks everybody. That is, well, buddy, that's it. That's
4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah. Actually, we're at 3, so that's pretty good. 3 hours.
Okay, good. Thank God.
3 hours and 7 minutes. But anyway, it's been a blast. We are, just as a quick update, because I'm glad Mike asked. I think you and I will chat in the next couple of weeks, but we're gonna turn it down a notch for a little bit. We do have some maybe little recaps here and there. I do want to bring on some guys who I want to promote their projects, and we're all about promoting people and stuff too. So we'll come back on and do some of that and do some extra, wrap up conversation, do a rewatch, go through it, and then maybe we'll dive into the Silmarillion. I'm all for that. Hey, we firing Further Up, sounds like down the line at some point. If you want to check out some dive in some Narnia, go check that out. So I'm excited. I'm honestly excited. And I was telling Sarah the other day when we were down for the least expected party, I was like, it's just so good to just be there, and just to be around you guys and say hey in the chat and just be out, like you said, out and about and fellowshipping again. It's good, really good. So looking forward to more of that in the future.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that is it for the Hobbit Hotline. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, do all those good things. Hang in there. Send us your thoughts and send us that shadow facts.
We'll see you when we see you guys. We got more stuff coming. Don't worry about it. We'll keep you company on Thursday. Matthew there in Kansas. I don't know what Thursday it's going to be, but it's coming up. And sadly, or maybe happily, I don't know. Just remember that Sauron lives.